Howdy, partners in wine. How's everybody doing?
I'm Chrissy May.
That is Barley, and that makes this Wine with the Wifey.
Oh my gosh, you just burped in my face.
Something's going on with the audio.
Yeah? What's it
Yeah.
doing?
It's like being weird.
Well, I thought you sound checked everything.
What? I made sure it was like playing. I think it's just clipping a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's checking it. I don't know. Hey, Steven. It's probably the lavaliers.
Well, it might be. It might be the lavaliers, but let's wait for the thing to catch up. See, this helps.
Okay, well,
All right, Steve. We'll see you when you get back. Hopefully, we'll have the audio figured out by then. Sheesh. Let me see here. Well, I'm not wearing shorts tonight, so I think, yeah, well, no, it sounds better now.
yeah? Like it's not staticky?
No, I think it was just clipping because we're used to having the dynamic mics, which require a lot more gain, but these don't require so much gain. It's a little bit, I think we'll be fine. Now I think we'll be good.
All right. So sorry we haven't been on the show for a little bit. I've been like pretty much overwhelmed by school and life.
Yeah.
So it just wears me out. Like I probably should be writing my paper I'm going to turn in tomorrow. But instead I'm going to wait and do it in the morning. Hopefully get it all done.
I just spoke too soon on the.
Yeah, I figured you did. 'Cause, you know,
Here's what I'll do.
I don't think you're very good at fixing the sound issues.
Well, it's hard to do when we're live. Here we go. I'll just get rid of that. See what happens with that. Oh. Wow.
What?
That's pretty crazy. There's a lot of background noise. We'll go ahead and turn that back on. It does seem like it's just the scanning pattern of the lavaliers, though. Let's see here. Here. Turn this off.
Hi, Barley. You see me from across the table? He's so funny.
Audio 1, 2, 3. Checking the audio.
Why don't you talk like how you normally talk? That's like way louder than you normally talk.
I gotta say something. My microphone just stopped working altogether. Let's get picked up on your mic.
Huh. Well. Hey, one true villain.
Hey, one true villain.
We're having audio issues right now. I'm pretty sure we just need to go to our regular microphones, but he hasn't made it his way over to the closet yet to get them.
Well, the microphones are right there. We just need the cables.
So tell us what you've been up to lately. We haven't been on the show for a while, so.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Yeah, exactly. just going to grab the other microphones. Chrissy May will be entertaining you while I get the sound figured out.
All right. So, yeah, we have rearranged a lot. So we put our coffee bar and our printer behind us now. So when we have coffee cool down, we can just like reach behind us and do the coffee. We haven't had, you know, the green screen for quite a while now. So that's, you know, another thing. And this week I feel like the camera is a lot closer to us or something. So I like that. I don't like seeing all my messy house in the background.
It is. It's closer to us because it's just the two of us. We can't have it close when there's more of us because then we have to see everybody.
You should have just gotten the ones that just sit on the table or something. These ones are like crazy.
These are the ones we've been using for weeks now.
Okay.
So when you say normal microphones, that's what I think of.
Well, I'm not the microphone stand. That's what I was meaning. What are you doing? Carly, just chill out, dude.
Like the one that sits on the floor?
The one that sits on the table.
Well, these microphones won't get held in that. So.
Oh, okay. Charlie's very curious about what's going on. He's like, we have like a million microphones because Gitch is always like got some brainiac idea.
Well, I would prefer to use lavaliers just because we're always getting up from the table. And if we have microphones that are attached to the table, then you can't hear us. Like right now, nobody would be able to hear me if this was the microphone that I was talking through. My audio. Hey. But your audio is like really jittery. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know. I think it's just that the wires are...
Well, mine goes in and out, I guess. I think it's just the scanning pattern.
Look at Barley's at the stove trying to figure out what's up there. He thinks there's food up there.
He's probably trying to get at the leftover manwich dinner.
Oh, is there leftover manwich up there?
No, but there's probably like some splattered little tasty bits.
Mm. Barley, no. Leave it. Leave it.
All right. Tell intern Ryan did these cables.
The intern Ryan put away the cables, you can tell, is what Gitch is saying. Yeah, they're kind of crazy sometimes. Barley's gonna help you out though.
Yeah, I see that. So, what do we do? Let's look at these cables here, Dad. Let me see what's going on here.
Has me really confused at where the camera is angled from this week.
It's right here.
Yeah. I just like feeling like I'm looking at the camera when I'm reading the words.
Well, that's why the chat's over on this side of the screen next to the camera. That's how it's been set up for a while. Okay, your mic's getting unplugged.
Okay.
Oh, I can just do this. I have to plug you into the wrong channel. There you go.
Is that the issue? You put me in the wrong channel?
No. You can turn your lavalier off. I need to talk.
Okay, I'm talking right now. Can you hear me?
It's still choppy.
Hello?
What the heck?
It's probably that really expensive mixer I bought you. Like $2,100 board.
I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn it off and back on again. Let's see if that fixed anything.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really tired. I don't know. He's checking all the connections to make sure they're all pushed in all the way.
Checking.
Barley, get away from there, dude.
Hey, this lavalier shot anyway. That's why we stopped using them. I'm literally coming across on your microphone right now.
Oh, really? Yeah. Everything upstairs, too. We're just coming across the ears.
Okay, let's see how this sounds now. Should be a little bit better. Still sounds like I'm talking in a fishbowl.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is here. Take a look at the filters. I don't think either of these would be causing it. Maybe we don't need this with these microphones.
I mean, what I heard on my phone didn't sound weird.
Oh, that's not good.
What? My microphone?
No, both of our microphones. I don't know what's happening right now. I don't think this is... Let's see here. Maybe... What does it sound like now?
Today, Junior. I don't understand how you can like plug in the things like week after week, have the same setting set, and then it like never works every time.
Well, that's the funny thing about electronics is they never do the same thing twice in a row. Makes it difficult, and we don't have a way to like actually test the audio on the stream without going live. So maybe I should just set up like a test channel on Twitch so we can go live for 15 live and audio bugs.
Yeah.
But like right now, I'm coming across super quiet. But seems to be, well, no, it's still a little choppy though. I don't understand why it's choppy. That's what's throwing me off.
Hey, Gandar.
Gandalf, hello. How are you? We're having audio issues, as is the norm.
How was your Thanksgiving, Gandar?
Oof. Yeah, frick them. Frick them right to heck.
I've been like seeing on social media that there's like all kinds of conspiracy theories going around with that like mysterious illness that everybody's been getting. They're like, this is how COVID happened. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I had the flu, maybe, but my doctor said I could have had COVID. Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so like when I was sick, you know, I had like all the GI symptoms. I didn't have any like fever or like respiratory situation or anything. And it just lasted like forever. I had to get IVs and nutrition and hydration and stuff. And but when I got sick, like my texture, palate, and taste and everything like severely went astray. So like all the foods I typically would like really lean on for like eating every day, they tasted like horrible to me. Like put it in your mouth, start chewing, and then get the gag reflex. Horrible. And then everything kind of smells or tastes like metal now. It's really disgusting.
That's why.
What? So this whole time you could have just fixed it by that. I spent all this money for it to never work.
I mean, I don't know what the problem is with it. It should just be plug and play.
I think
But-
you should probably like email the company and be like, I've dealt with issues like since I've had it.
Yeah, I'll email them. I'm pretty sure they'll tell me it's not meant for live audio though. And that's our problem.
Color left us for a second.
Yeah, well, I mean, it also could be the fact that it's hooked up through a Cat5 cable.
One that you made yourself.
Well,
you
that
found
doesn't.
it yourself. It's probably all the weird phrase.
There's no weird phrase. There's the cable that got chewed on by the dog is plugged into the monitor. I just don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand why this interface has been giving us issues from the get-go. It's supremely frustrating.
I don't know what it sounds like. Is it like we need to just stop?
I don't know. I mean, we've done the entire. Why is that happening too?
What?
The camera keeps flickering off.
I don't know.
Sounds like you were talking through a fan. General Darth Vader.
That's great.
Somehow, it's picking up the talkback from over here. Can't pick up. Well, now it's picking up my voice from over here too. I don't. Oh, because this got a.
Okay, I'm talking. Sorry, I'm so exhausted.
We haven't even gotten to the wine.
I know. I'm hoping the wine wakes me up.
No, it's still. I don't know. I'm just gonna stop listening and just let people deal with it. Cause there's nothing I can do to fix it. And it's time to drink wine. I'll have to just make a test channel and just mess around with it sometime when I never have time. There goes the camera again. I don't know what the hell's going on this week. Maybe I should just restart my computer. But it's too late for that now. I already restarted my computer. There we go. It's a red.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh. I hope we have the filter thing.
Yeah, we do.
I think this.
You want me to go get it?
Sediment. Yes. Vicky?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's been a while since I drank wine.
Thanksgiving. Where did you
No,
have wine?
I
at
didn't have any
Thanksgiving?
wine at Thanksgiving. It was all you.
Yeah, that's true. I drank the whole bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gitch drank a whole bottle of wine at Thanksgiving and spilled some on their nice floor and
It was a wooden floor. It came up.
against their nice couch.
And I didn't get any on the couch.
I think there was a couple little speckles.
And I didn't get any more than Phil got on the couch.
I didn't see him get any on the couch.
He got tons on the couch.
No. When?
All the time.
No.
Every day that we're not there.
Nobody got stuff on the couch except for you.
The kids get stuff on the couch every day. Promise you. That's right. There you go. Gandalf, are you planning on getting in on the Dragonflight situation?
Steven has me almost convinced to revisit. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know when you
I
have time.
like that's one part about it is I don't really like the subscription part of it, but I like the game better than. I mean, I like Guild Wars enough, but just something about WoW just. I had a lot of fun with Legion. I enjoyed Legion quite a bit, and I played it a lot. And I liked Shadowlands as a concept, but I didn't really like the fact that it like pulled you out of Azeroth. You couldn't go back until you like had gone through the whole story. I'm not a huge fan of that. But it seems like with Dragon Flight, they've gone back to Azeroth, and I'm kind of psyched about the talent tree thing that they did, because I thought that was probably the worst thing they ever did for WoW, was get rid of the talent system that they had and make it more simplistic. So I don't know. I might just watch other people play it because, like Christy May says, I never have time. Not even like, I used to have time to play games when I was on duty, but now I'm either doing homework or like somehow work takes up my day when I'm on duty. It's frustrating.
It's almost like they want you to work while you're on duty.
Yeah, it's like, and even though the regulation says you're not supposed to.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wait, when you're on duty, you're not supposed to work?
No, because you're supposed to be in a continuous state of rest. You're supposed to be doing like your own time thing, but it's a should, not a must.
Oh. I thought it was like your day after is your day of rest, and the day of is like you're awake forever.
No. It's the day of, you're on call, but as soon as you show up, you run up, you do your crew brief, you're supposed to go into a rest state, because if you have 10 hours of continuous rest, it resets your duty day, and it resets your basically your hours and everything. So you're supposed to maintain that rest cycle, because that way you don't run into issues of like running out of flight time, like the amount of time you're allowed to fly in a day or whatever. But it always ends up that like I have worked, like even I have duty on Sunday, but I'm gonna have to spend the whole time making a class for Tuesday. And then I would like to read ahead for my next master's class, because that starts on Monday. So I'd at least like to get like the first chapter of the book skimmed over.
And you gotta help me with that.
And I gotta do, statistics and pre-calc.
But my instructor said that he'll like reopen my test one for me, and like, if I I don't know, he sent me an email, and he was like, it's hard to say how uncomfortable you are with everything. He's like, I'm willing to open up anything that you couldn't get done. He's like, I can understand that, being as sick as you were with all of
Alrighty, Gandalf.
with all of like your classes that you're taking, that being sick and trying to catch up on everything would make it really hard to concentrate and let stuff absorb. So I'm like kind of torn, like, do I just like retake the class, or do I?
Well, I would talk to your advisor about that.
They said I should talk to my instructor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And your instructor said he'll just reopen stuff for you?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's willing to work with you. The challenge is going to be like studying the material, or like basically cramming for the test.
I think if I could ask him for like a week continuance so that I could like study,
Yeah,
maybe that would work.
that might help. I think if you sat down and studied and like figured out your calculator and how to put everything into the calculator, because a lot of it is if you can, especially that first test, if you can put the functions into your calculator to make the graph, that's going to help you. And then when it comes to, I can't think of where the first test left off, but I'm pretty sure that's like the majority of the first test. It's figuring out what the graphs look like. I don't know, everything bleeds together between stats and pre-calc for me because it's just like a mad marathon of going
I
through
know
it all.
it is. And I just need to get my papers written so that way I can actually like devote.
Just focus on
Yeah.
math.
But it's so hard because I've gotten myself so emotionally exhausted at this point that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't even think.
Well, it's just, I mean, you and I were talking the other day about how life just feels overwhelming right now. And it's like, and you throw Chrissy Gumi on top of it.
Mhm.
Like life by itself is overwhelming, and then we got a kid with issues. And it's just like, oh man. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could hire a lookalike to do my tests.
Well, when we win the lottery tonight, then we'll do that. We'll hire an actress.
Yeah. We'll have to find somebody that looks enough like me.
Makeup.
We'll hire the chick from the Gambit.
Oh, the Queen's Gambit?
Queen's Gambit, yeah.
That would be a pretty expensive test.
How bad do you want to be a nurse?
Yeah. I think we could probably hire some local Fayetteville actress and
Actresses in Fayetteville?
put
What are
makeup
you
on.
talking about?
Yeah, there's a community theater here. I'm sure makeup will fix anything. And honestly,
Makeup will fix anything.
all they'd
You
have
know
to do.
that what I look like is the very, very minority here.
Yeah, well, all they'd have to do, yeah, we'll just have a black lady with a red wig. Take your test.
Well, makeup will fix anything. You said it.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant like they don't have to be an exact replica because it's not like you're in class. Your teacher doesn't know what you look like.
Mhm.
It just has to be close enough that when they like wave their ID at the camera. I mean, heck, they could just use their own ID.
Why?
So then it would look like them. They just put their thumb over the name. What? You just watching yourself react?
Yeah, well, I can't believe how bad the wine tastes with this like issue.
I don't. Oh, with your, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. Everything tastes bad, huh?
Yeah, everything has like a weird taste to it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not taking Topamax, you know, so.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
How bizarre. Dun, 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 dun.
How bizarre? How bizarre.
Does mine taste different than yours?
Probably not. Nope.
Just checking to make sure it wasn't like
Tastes
silk
the same.
glass.
Oh yeah, it's a possibility. Nope, tastes the same.
So the other day, I was at the Shopette and I was like super thirsty. So I got like water and I got that chunk of pizza and I got a Fairlife milk, which I thought was like low fat chocolate. I looked at the protein and on it, it said 23 grams. So I was like, wow, There's a lot of grams in this milk. No, shake. It didn't say anywhere on it. It didn't say it was a shake.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's crazy. I'm getting it. Then I get out to the truck and then I rip it open and start drinking. And it is like so sweet, like sickly sweet, like cream sweet. It was because it was cookies and cream.
Do you remember when we were doing the road trip from Washington to Alabama for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and you got that naked juice at the gas station and took the lid off, and it was like fuzzy mold?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember that? Oh, maybe that was when I was coming back to Minnesota for our wedding. I think that must have been it. Yeah, I got a naked juice because I was just like, oh yeah, I feel like having something a little sweet, but that's kind of good for me. So I grabbed this naked juice and
Like
I
the
got,
green monster one, or
yeah, like I think it was a strawberry banana, juice. Got it to the car, cracked the top open, pulled the lid off, and was about to drink, and then like happened to glance at the lid, and it was just like fuzz inside the lid, and I was like, and then I looked at that's where I was like, I should have looked at the expiration date because it was like 3 months past.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Did they have red milk at the store?
Yeah, I got you some.
Okay, good.
Maybe I gotta get the ASIO for all. I'm pretty sure I already have that. Let's see. I'll be right back.
All right, guys. I'm myself again, apparently. Trying to drink down this wine that has an odd taste to me. I think it's just trying to poison me. Like something only in my wine glass. He says nothing. Oh, he shook his head. So I'm going to tell you about yesterday. I went to go get my port flushed. I have a chemo port. That's why I've got this, like, you can't see it, but there's like a bruise right there. And so I go in and I give the woman my name to tell her I'm here for my appointment. And she like literally doesn't understand what I'm saying. Like she repeats my name and it's like some other person's name. I'm like, no, I tell her my name again. And then she calls back there to the infusion clinic and it's like, so-and-so is here. And she took my last name and basically split it into two parts and made a first name and a last name out of my last name. I was like, that's not my name, but okay.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that by the time I got back to the back, like they would realize, oh, it's Christy May, whatever. But there's like a new nurse again. And then the other nurse, like I hadn't seen for quite a while. And she like pulls up the record that apparently she thought was like who I was based off what the woman told her. And then she called my oncology office and was like, I'm wondering like what kind of standing orders does she have? And they're like, we don't even know who this person is. So then she's like, well, the date of birth is like March 11th, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's not even my birthday. That's nowhere close to my birthday. So she's like, what? And it was insane. I was like, how do these people just like pull up some random person's file and start pretending that I'm that person? Like, talk about like medical distrust.
Yeah, that's nuts. Okay, things might get a little wonky here.
It's already been wonky.
More than normal. Barley, stop it.
Barley, there's nothing up there for you, honey. Joke, I'm still hungry, you guys.
All right, and I'm gonna turn off the thing and turn.
Downloaded some sort of
Okay.
thing.
Well, now your mic's back. He didn't hear, but hopefully, maybe the audio was clean before I turned it off and back on. Hopefully,
Hopefully you're turning it on.
still
and
is. Yeah.
make it worse.
All right. Yeah, I downloaded the ASIO for All driver, and I saw on the internet that should fix it. So, oh, look at that. It fixed it. That's all I've had to do this whole time. Maybe the lavaliers would work.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, okay.
You already said yours was crap anyway.
Except now your microphone is really quiet.
I don't know what to tell you. Guess I did fix it.
Apparently not. Let's see. Well, maybe I gotta change some settings in Wave now. Okay, say something.
Hello? Say something, I'm giving up on you. Maybe passed out on the table soon. At the rate this is going.
Yeah, I don't know. This is quite frustrating. Let's see what happens if we just turn this off. All right, try talk.
Okay, I'm talking, and I'm talking, and I'm talking. Can you hear me talking?
So what we'll do is this.
Okay, here I am, I'm talking again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear?
All right, you're much. Yeah, you're coming across clean.
For that second.
All right, we'll go with these for the rest of the show. I think that's going to work.
Okay. All right.
What's going on here?
Tastes like I have soap in my mouth.
Gross. That's what I'm going for. There we go. All right. Okay, now I can focus. What? You got really quiet again. What the hell?
I just need to learn sign language.
I guess. I don't know what the hell is going on with your microphone. Try that.
Hello, 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 hello. And is mine back to choppy?
It's
Maybe I
weird.
just have a soft voice. It's just to pick it up. I thought that was the whole point of microphones.
Well, yeah, I mean, microphones capture your voice, but the preamp is what makes it louder.
So the thing I bought you.
And mine's back to choppy again. Man, this is frustrating. I'm just gonna stop listening again.
So Gitch went into
You're
his.
still coming across. You can be heard. So
So Gitch took his motorcycle classes this week, and he was really, really like anxious beforehand because of how mine went for me, and like I could barely move for days after.
yeah, like she got beat up.
I had so many bad bruises. I still have them on my legs. Like it was bad, and I'm so short, and the motorcycle they had me on was like so wide. So when I like try and power walk it forward, having to push the whole weight of it, I was like, this is like killing me for one. And I kind of have to like tilt it from side to side to get both feet from.
Oh man.
So like I thought I was gonna die. Like I didn't think I was gonna make it through that first exercise. Because on the way across, it was up a slight incline too.
I had to figure when we first started doing the power walking thing, it was really hard on my hips because I was trying to like take a full stride with my foot, and I had to figure out that when you're power walking, you just have to do like little, like just basically tap dance with your feet. It took me until like halfway through the second day to figure that out.
There were some guys that could take those big steps, but they were pretty tall.
I mean, I could take the big step, but it hurt my hips.
I just couldn't do it because my legs were so short. I couldn't even move my legs up far enough to take a big step because how short my legs are.
Yeah. And they had you on those 500s, which my instructor said, because I told him the school that you went to. She went to the Harley Davidson class, and he said that the 500s are just not good to learn on. So I can see that.
Yeah, it was very scary. And making like sharp turns at a slow speed, I was just like, I'm gonna just fall straight over. Like, it didn't matter how much I looked into the turn. Like, I didn't feel like my bike was following my head.
The U-turn was super hard especially the U-turn to the right. Because like you have your throttle and then you like tuck it right in next to you, and then you gotta like counter lean and push the throttle down and keep it steady and stay in the friction zone and not rev the engine. And it was tough. It was like, but luckily that you're only evaluated with the U-turn to the left. So when I get my own microphone, when I get my own motorcycle, I'm gonna do a lot of practicing up at the school. The empty parking lot, so that I can safely handle the motorcycle.
Yep.
I just got to figure out the correct rules so that I can get my endorsement, and that's going to be the challenge because nobody knows what the hell you're talking about when you talk to them. And you're like, oh, I'm active duty military and I'm licensed in my home state, but I'm living in this other state, and I need to know how I can take the written test in this other state so that I can send it to my home state. And then this state's like, oh, if you're active duty military, this is how you can get your endorsement with this state's driver's license. And I'm like, no, I'm not licensed in that state. I'm licensed in my home state. And it's just like...
Yeah, I thought when you looked it up before, it was really simple. Like you just needed to send something and attach that.
It depends on. So I sent them the memo, and the memo that they gave me has a written knowledge test score on it. So if that's enough, and I didn't mention, like, when I sent it to Minnesota, I didn't mention anything about taking the written test, and I just said, this is the memo that I got from the class I took. You'll see that it has a written score and a skills test score on it. Let me know if you need anything else. Because that's all the thing from Minnesota says. You need to show that you passed a written knowledge exam in the jurisdiction that you live in and a skills test on the motorcycle.
Okay.
Which is what I did. So I'm hoping that's enough. And they just say, oh yeah, here's the packet to get your endorsement, send us the money. And then I can just do it that way. And then I'll be a motorcycler.
Without a motorcycle.
Yeah. I just gotta get a motorcycle within the next 2 years. And then ride it enough to be able to go back to the advanced course and not lay it down at the advanced course. Because you do the advanced course on your own bike. But I definitely learned that I should have been riding motorcycles for a long time. It just feels right.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it just feels natural. I used to ride bicycle everywhere. It feels the same. It gives me the same feeling of like, I honestly feel, at least when we were doing it around the parking lot, I'm sure in traffic it's going to be different, but I feel like I have more awareness of like what's around me and stuff, you know? And you're like smaller, so you're fully aware of your whole, I don't know, I liked it. I'm probably gonna, even if I can't pick up Dad's bike, I'm probably gonna end up getting like a Honda Shadow or something anyway. Just because I like that cruiser. I like having my feet out in front. And from what I've seen on YouTube and read about on the forums and stuff, when you're like leaned forward, it hurts your wrists a lot. And I don't like that.
I can't imagine that I would want to ride a cruiser. Just from being on the one that I was on. And maybe that just gave me a bad taste in my mouth, but it just felt like...
Well, yeah. I mean, Harleys are and a 500, you know, might have been too big for you.
I just felt like I was on the widest bike ever.
Yeah, that's like Harleys are big, clunky machines.
I mean, it did feel like I was driving a car.
Very distinct aesthetic. They had us on a little Suzuki 250. That's what I was riding. Suzuki 250, just like little cruiser. Had a little seat for a passenger.
Really?
Yeah.
On a 250?
Yeah. And the whole time I was riding along and I was like doing the stuff and I was like, man, I can get really good at this and bring Chrissy Gumi on a bike ride. She'd probably like that.
On a 250?
Well, not on a 250. I mean, I'm probably going to at least get a 500. Dad's is a 1000. I don't know if that would be too much for me. He said he never felt like it was too much. And it was kind of interesting because I saw these videos that it was like, you know, as a first-time bike owner, you shouldn't get anything over a 500 and this and that until you learn how to use it better, blah, 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 whatever. And then the instructor was like, this is America. You get whatever goddamn bike you want. It's like, it's kind of contradictory to everything else that I've heard. Like, he's like, you know, I wouldn't recommend getting anything more than a 500. You're never going to use the power of a 600 even in a turn, even if you're a super advanced rider. And anything over a 600, obviously, you won't use all that power, especially in a turn.
My instructor said I should get the smallest Ninja possible.
Smallest Ninja?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want a Kawasaki. I don't want to ride something that my exes used to ride.
Yeah,
It just had a bad taste in my mouth.
that's weird. My instructor said he used to hate ninjas, but their quality's gotten a lot better in the last like 5 years. But he said that I should get a CB 300. He loves Honda.
Mm.
So he would probably recommend a CBR for you because you want that sport bike. Because I told him I like the cruiser feel because I got a bad hip, and that's why he's like, oh, get the CB 500. It's got it's a sporty looking bike, but it's got like the standard seating posture, and yeah, I think you'd like it. He's a sport bike guy, so he's like always pushing people towards sport bikes. But his thing is like, you can get whatever bike you want because it's America, but I don't recommend you go out and get a BMW or like a Hayabusa or like a Ducati for your first bike, because then you're gonna spend $20,000 on your bike and then go out and lay it down and feel all terrible because you laid down this bike. He's like, start on like a cheap Honda, or especially get a used bike for cheap and lay that down a couple times, and then go get your Ducati or your Hayabusa or whatever you want to get. Which I think is probably pretty wise advice. But I don't know. After, like, I feel like I would be...
Well, everybody, like the guys that knew about motorcycles at my class and the instructor, they were all like, don't get a Honda CBR. It's going to be too much for you to have to deal with it, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, man, everything we read said that it wouldn't be like that,
Yeah, like my instructor said Hondas are great because it's easy to find parts and the maintenance is easy. And
well, and like that one friend of mine that like is no longer a friend anymore, he had said that he recommended having either a Kawasaki, Honda, or a Yamaha, because he said that those are all the most reliable. So everything else that he's ever owned, like he had it in the shop within like sometimes the first trip, or definitely within the first 6 months. And he'd been riding for 25 years.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a Honda fanboy, honestly. Everything I've heard, and then my instructor reinforcing that they're super reliable and they're easy to maintain. I was just like, okay, that settles it for me. I'll get a Honda.
That's it.
Whether it's a Honda Rebel or a Shadow or a CB, I don't know, or a CBR. He's just gutting through it, huh?
I'm trying to. It gives me this like taste of like chalk kind of, but like Mylanta, like that antacid drink.
Gross. That's
part of me wonders if I should just like a regular drink with my Diet Coke here.
You want me to get you some rum or something?
Yeah.
And then I'll just do this?
Yeah, you can just do that.
I'll be back.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'll try that. Then I just need a glass and some ice, I guess. No, here comes Barley. That's not very much ice for me. Yeah, I like it half filled. Hey, Barley, no. Thanks, honey.
Okay. All right. Let's see how audio's sounding, just for funsies.
That's open. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just as easy as that?
Yep. Yeah, I think it's just because I installed the ASIO for all, whatever it's called, driver. But I need to probably restart my computer to get it to actually take authority or whatever. So it is what it is. I've also been learning to code in MQL5, which is the MetaQuotes language for MetaTrader 5, so that I can program a trading robot so that I don't have to sit at the computer and do my trading. So that's been going pretty well, actually. I got the robot to actually take trades and close trades. I just had to figure out how to get it to select the proper lot size so that it's like I can either declare it just takes a certain amount of volume out, but I'd like it to be a percentage of my equity. And when I try to do that, it tries to take an infinite amount of lots out, which obviously you can't do because nobody has that much money. So I got to figure that equation out. And I know that people have done it, but the problem is all the code that all the they're called expert advisors in MT5, but all the trading robots or like tools that I've found that have that utility, the code is encrypted, so I can't like look at it and see how they did it, which is frustrating.
What you doing?
So I just gotta figure it out. But that's one of the things I plan on trying to do while I'm on duty.
And then just a couple weeks, and then you finally get like Christmas leave.
Yep, that's true.
And then after Christmas leave comes the fun part of life. Rotations, me never being home, us having to deal with Chrissy Gumi, you
never
being gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. Yeah, the show's gonna get pretty sporadic here after Christmas, probably. Definitely after January. It's probably gonna be a lot of like me doing random gaming streams and then us doing the show, like, you know, a couple weeks off and then trying to do the show. Because Chrissy May will be in rotations and I'll be in and out of the field. And
they say that the second 8 weeks of my rotations in the first semester gets lighter. I don't know why, but apparently it does.
Probably because like they try to cram, you know, you gotta eat the frog, as they say.
What?
You get the hard stuff done first, and then the rest is smooth sailing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've already got my like location number for like where I'm going physically for my rotations.
That's cool.
Somewhere in Cape Fear system. It could be like a clinic in like Hoke County. It could be like in Benson. Like,
Really?
yeah. Could be just the hospital in some department.
Huh. Cape Fear system goes out that far, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, it goes all like there's a clinic in Lillington. There's like one in Stedman.
That's
There's
crazy.
a second hospital in Rayford.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, it's better than the one in Fayetteville.
That doesn't surprise me. Rayford's a better neighborhood.
Like, all the people that were in my orientation group, like, there was 5 of us in our little group, and we had to introduce each other. And 3 of the girls worked at the Hoke County Cape Fear Hospital.
They already work there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just starting rotations.
They're not nurses. They're like CNAs.
Okay.
Which apparently, as a CNA, like a certified nursing assistant, in my mind, I view that as somebody that is like the same person that works at a nursing home and like does all that dirty work. Apparently, you do the same dirty work at the hospital, but you also start IVs and take labs and stuff like that, which I was like, what? What's the purpose of a phlebotomist? And she said in their phlebotomy lab there, a lot of medical technicians and CNAs work there. So then this one girl, she came from Hawaii, and she had gotten certified as a phlebotomist out there. I had been doing that for like 7 years. And then she was born and raised in Hawaii. And then she married a guy in the military and came here and learned that not only will she make like nearly half of what she made in Hawaii, but like there's no like room for growth, and like it's harder to get a job because so many, like, they'll hire the CNAs over the phlebotomists.
Probably because they can pay them less.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's why she decided to go to nursing school, because she was just like, what's the point of me trying to use this degree I have? Like,
yeah. I'm hoping my degree doesn't end up being like that. I don't think it will, because there's a lot of, come to find out, there's a lot of jobs that I can get. I just need to be able to get a top secret for most of them. Which hopefully, if the branch or the track managers have their way, I will have before I get out of the Army.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Their push right now, their push is to get everybody that's in battalion or higher positions a TS, and then they want all AMSOs across the board to get one eventually. I mean, ideally that's what they want immediately, but they need to like convince the bean counters that that's needed. Because if my commander doesn't have that level of clearance,
Oh yeah, she'll get jealous.
why do I need it? Well, it's not her. It's the bean. It's the accountants are like, well, if he's advising the commander and she doesn't have, or they don't have that level of clearance, why does he need that level of clearance? Because he can't advise her on anything beyond the level that she has. So, you know, they're working on the justification. Not that I don't really care beyond having the background check done, you know. It's not like I'm going to go try to get into the skiff, and I don't really care to seek out that information unless I actually need it. Sniffles is so cute. Our Sniffle cat just like hopped up and asked very politely to hop on Chrissy May's lap.
And he just
Put his little paws up there like, could I come up, please?
and then pulled himself up with his claws. Oh, he's so bony.
Yeah, he's an old man.
He's purring though.
Yep. He's our oldest kitty.
Oh, he needs to
Well,
get
he's
his,
our oldest
he needs
animal,
to get his
period.
belly shaved. He got so many mats on there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that tomorrow.
Yeah. Among the 20 other tasks we want to try to get done. This is the problem when I have weekend duties. Can't get anything done.
He loves it.
He is just a happy dude.
He just all his head. His head is like the entire part of him.
Yep.
He's just so little. It's crazy. Hi, honey. You got your tongue sticking out.
Just a happy little camper right there.
Yeah, he's like, I got my mom, and that's all that matters.
Yep.
I wonder what that sounded like.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if his little
I'm sure
sniffing was like louder than me speaking.
Yeah, I'm sure the background filter cut it out. The NVIDIA background removal is pretty good about recognizing the human voice.
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous about January coming.
Especially with your health the way it's been.
Mm-hmm.
That's what worries me. I mean, I have full confidence that you'll get through it. I just think it's going to be challenging, you know.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that because I've got a lot of experience, like with, as an EMT, or like I worked at that vent house for a while, and like just having my personal experience with my health and always being in a doctor's office or a hospital.
Yeah.
Like,
my thing is, have you seen some of the nurses? Like, if they can get through it, you can definitely get through it.
What do you mean?
like the lady at Friendsgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, man, if she can get through it, you can get through it.
Yeah. She kind of seemed like she was like on a different wavelength.
Yeah.
But she kind of reminded me of my mom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's all we'll say about that.
Mm-hmm.
You should tell Phil that.
I could, yeah.
I felt bad for him that night because he was all like freaked out. He's like, nobody, like, let's not make a big deal of this,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Like, I didn't understand until he said that that's what he had said in the first place. Like, I didn't take it to heart. And so I was like, okay. And then when he was like, no, I really grew up that way, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I watched that on TV.
Yeah.
And then he was like very ashamed of it, seemed like.
Well, yeah. Sure.
I was like, you can't do anything about how you grew up. Like, that's not your
Right.
fault. It's not your choice. Like,
Right.
That's just how life's cards got handed to you.
Yep.
That's what I'm like. That's what I struggle with. Like, for the longest time, I didn't ever let anybody know my dad was abusive or he was an alcoholic. Like, I just like made excuses for, everything in the world, like to cover up that I lived in that life, And like, I could kind of do that because I was really, really shy when I was young. Like, I won an award in school for being the most shy. You know how you get like awards at the end of the year for certain things? I read the most books. I was the most helpful student to classmates, and I was the most shy.
I didn't get that award.
What did you get?
I don't know. I don't think I got anything. Nobody knew me though. Like
Nobody knew me. I was
very
like
popular.
an invisible person. Oh, in high school. Yeah, did they do like so-called awards in high school? I don't remember.
Ours was like at the bottom of our yearbook, everybody was linked to everybody. So it like started at the A's and like I don't know who the first person, but it was like Abby likes to crochet just like Jonathan, who also likes Sailor Moon just like Megan.
Mhm.
And the whole class was linked like that, the whole senior class.
I don't know what was in my. I guess I could look at my yearbook and see now that I have one. I keep. Oh, it's the dog snoring. I was like, is that a phone vibrating somewhere? Like, what is happening?
But yeah, I don't think we didn't get awards like that in junior high. I should have.
What? Not in elementary.
I
That's when I
should've
got all
used
these
the thing.
awards. That would have been great. Funny story. I had a crush on this guy. His name was Braden Simonette. Yeah.
That would have been goddamn hilarious because it's like this person like this person who didn't really like them because they like this person, and they didn't really like them because they like this person.
Like a big triangle of
Yeah.
craziness. No, I had a crush on this dude named Braden Simonette. His family had Simonettes, like the furniture company
we
or
went to
whatever.
school with a Simonette.
And I mean, there's nothing super special about him. Like he was just a tall guy with like dark hair. That was my type, is tall and dark hair. And which is funny because none of my husbands have been like that. All been blonde. So
At least I'm tall,
yeah, you're tall.
relatively speaking.
He's like 6'7" or something
Yeah.
like that. He's really tall. And
I smoked when I was 8, so
yeah, you kind of stunted yourself there.
yeah.
So I had a crush on him. Of course, he never knew because like he was part of like the jock crowd, and I didn't really talk to them openly. But a lot of them came up and said hi to me or would like converse with me in the halls and stuff like that. But it wasn't like I was looking to be in that group or be friends with like close friends with people. Like the jocks that would talk to me were like ones I had befriended in 7th grade. You know, like we rode the bus together and like we had computer class together, and you know, when nobody knew anybody and nobody had a status, you know. So and then they just maintained friendships since. And so anyway, I had a crush on him. And then kind of funny because when Braden was born, his dad wasn't there. His dad had left me and was on a cruise with his girlfriend, my ex-friend. And so like I could just name my kid whatever the hell I wanted to. So I decided to name him after this dude I had a crush on in high school because why not? And then gave his middle name, his dad's name, just in case he never met him or anything. He'd have like some part of his dad, I guess. Like who cares? Looking back, I'm like, why did I even care about that? But whatever, that's what I did. And then years later, I was at one of the reunions and my friend Jason was like, oh, hey, because we have all served. And so like Braden started National Guard and then he went to active duty apparently. And so like Jason was like, oh, hey, Braden, you got to learn this, blah, blah, blah. And so he told him that I named my kid after him. And like, I'm pretty positive Braden was so drunk that he may not remember that. So it's funny. But then years later, I made a friend that was stationed here. He's the guy that got out and like became the author and wrote that book that we showed his book on
Yeah.
everything. Now he's a whatever, like a TAC or something at like a military school in Virginia. Like what is it, the Citadel? Is that
Oh
school?
no, Citadel's in Charleston, North Carolina or South Carolina.
It's in Virginia, I want to say. I want to say it's near DC or something.
That would be West Point.
Oh, really? It wasn't West Point. I don't know. I'll have to look. Anyway, so he became a TAC at one of those things. But he was working at the Pentagon before then. And then before that, he was like some major and whatever type infantry unit. And that's where he served with my classmate, Braden. Kind of weird.
Small world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was looking at one of his flags that they had signed from like one of their deployments, and then it had everybody tagged on it, and like Braden was tagged. I looked up, pulled up the Facebook, and it was him.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really weird how the military is that small. Like all the time, like on TikTok, I get like a constant feed of like cops, firefighters, nurses, military people, like random shuffle songs, like
Those shuffle
tutorials, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but in a lot of those like things that I've gotten like fed to me or whatever, like I feel like there's like a 6th degree of Kevin Bacon going on. Like the other day, somebody was talking about this one soldier that was in the Minnesota National Guard that had passed away like that day so many years ago or whatever. And I seriously remember when that happened. And like they renamed a section of Highway 95 near North Branch after him. And so I was like, I remember this. Like, that's crazy. Like, I remember like we had a big like thing during drill and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And one of his family members like commented on my comment and was like, I'm so happy to hear that, you know, even after all these years, somebody remembers my brother.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and the longer you're around it, the more likely you are to know somebody that's gone that way.
Mm-hmm. I commented on somebody was doing like one of those courses or whatever where like you have to like pull yourself under the strings and through the mud, and you know you have to like is like, you know, I don't know what it's technically called anymore, but I remember doing it one weekend at drill and like
Nick at Night.
Yeah, but you have to like pull a litter through it and everything too. And then you had to like go across like a waterway, and like the fire department was out there with hoses like shooting you down off the little line, the rope bridge or whatever. You had to pull a litter with you. And maybe that was just because I was a medic, but like
Probably. I never did that.
it was like crazy. Tough Mudder?
The only time that I got sprayed with water from
Yeah, one of those dumb thingies, exactly. And I had watched everybody go before me, and like they hadn't pushed their chin or their forehead into the mud deep enough, and so I didn't want to get yelled at also and made to do it a second time. So I felt like I was brushing my teeth with dirt like forever. Like it's horrible. So anyway, I commented on this dude's video of him doing it, and I was like, your head's not even in the mud. You need to get into that stuff. And it turned out that it was somebody that Braden drills with. Like Braden saw my comment and was like, "Oh,
That's funny."
he's like, "You're getting critiqued by my mom here."
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I ever got sprayed with a fire hose was in selection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. During log PT. But they weren't like, I don't think they were trying to spray us. They were just trying to make the pit full of water.
Full of water and muddy and stuff.
Yeah.
In basic training, we got sprayed in the pit. It was really weird why we ever used it too. Like we did combatives in it. We did, we got smoked in it a lot. We used to have to do like, I don't know, I don't even remember now, but I mostly remember getting smoked. And it was basically like a big like pit full of like shredded vehicle tires. So,
yeah,
you know, and like, and it sucked, you know, because it was like mid-July, end of July, August. It's stuck all over you. Smells horrible. Like, oh my God. It's so hot. Like, I think what got us out of a lot of the smokings in the pit was because it was, you know, heat cat. So like we couldn't do anything but sit in the shade with our sleeves rolled up. Are you coming back? But the one time they let us go in and they were smoking us, but then they brought the fire department and they were hosing us while we were
Cool you off.
yeah, to cool us off. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, we got that tire stuff stuck all over. I had my uniforms that I brought to.
Oh yeah, they were just
ruined.
complete crap. And then I learned that when you get back to your unit, I could like trade it out because you can trade out uniforms once a year.
DX.
Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing that because I don't want to be wearing these stained ass tire uniforms forever.
I just got enough new uniforms that
Plus, they gave me the right size when I traded them out too. Because like this made no sense. So like I am as short as I am, and I was the same weight as I am now. So I feel like I weigh a lot, but I don't actually wear a large size. And he's cute. Anyway, they gave me like a regular length on everything in basic training, and they gave me a large. Like,
Okay. That seems a bit excessive.
it was huge. And my drill sergeant saw me when, I had my uniform and everything on and was just like, who the hell gave you those sizes? You need to go back and get a different size. And so then they were just like, oh no, you're going to have to wait till the end of, training or whatever, and then you could do it. I did trade my boots out once because I had gotten such a bad blister. So they gave me like a half size up or something like that because...
So your foot was like shifting around.
Yeah, they gave me a half size up more than they should have. So they gave me like a 4.5 or a 5 or something. And all I really needed was a 4 and maybe a 4 wide or something, like with swelling and stuff like that. But like the 4 was regular. The winter weather was super comfortable. I was like, oh, these are super nice. But, they like make your feet hotter or something. But I would have preferred wearing them all year round. But and I had like worn my boots into like the showers and everything so I could break my first ones in, and I still had the worst blister. Like, I mean, it was like a big hole in my heel and I was just dealing with it, like I wasn't going to do anything or say anything because I was like, everybody's getting blisters. But what my battle buddy was like, she's got a really bad blister. Like, she just outed me to my drill sergeant. Just outed me.
Yeah, she's looking out for you.
And then the drill sergeant made me take my, boots and socks off and was like, you need to go to the TMC. You need to get new boots. Those are the wrong size. That's really bad. That's a huge hole. It was really deep. It was like a good 1/2 inch deep. And it looked like a little crater. Like it was like wide.
Yeah.
It was like right here. It's like on the side.
Oh, wow. That's a bad place to have that.
Yeah. And so like, it was like all the top level skin was off like in this area, but then there was like a pencil hole that like went in deep and it was like, it was tunneling like a
Sheesh.
little hole just tunneling in like the size of your finger.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have ever let it get like that.
I was just going to deal with it because I wasn't going to complain about nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like every time I go to the doctor these days, they're like, so when did this start? And I'm like, well, I was in the infantry for 7 years. And, when you're in the infantry, you never go to the doctor. And they were like, yeah. They were like, anytime an infantry guy comes to us, it's like the craziest shit. like ejected from the windshield of a car crash and they come wandering in with like blood dripping down their face because you just don't go to the doctor for anything like this.
Well, I mean, I remember you giving me a hard time like back in the day because my knee issue, and you were like, you need to go get that seen and whatnot. I just didn't want to because I was afraid they were gonna like medically retire me.
Which they ended up doing.
Which they ended up doing because of Georgia or whatever. Because I was like undeployable at that moment. But then like we were transferring states and technically I still had her, the paperwork hadn't finished yet. So technically, I still had custody of her
Hmm.
when we moved.
Crazy.
Mhm. But I don't understand like how it worked like when I actually like got processed out, because for one, I didn't really realize it was happening for real. Nobody ever gave me paperwork. And I hear
that's amazing.
I hear so many stories about people in the National Guard saying that that's how they were outed too.
Yeah, you just never got. Like, that's got to make it really hard to get like VA services and stuff like that, because it's like you know you had an LOD,
Hmm.
but it was never given to you.
I had the LOD paperwork.
Oh,
I did. I had like numerous copies of it. And for whatever reason, it is like missing. Like I feel like in my heart, like when my duffel bag was at Cameron's house and Debbie had my stuff or the rest of the stuff, remember?
mhm.
I feel like that's where it got taken or something. Why she would take an LOD is beyond me. But remember I said somebody had gone through my duffel
Yeah.
bag.
I mean, why she does a lot of the things she did, who knows?
And I don't know, like my unit back in Indiana had a copy of it. I don't know if they'd still have a copy of it. Like I could try and see if I could get
Yeah,
a copy from them.
See, or you could reach out to Paul and see if he can figure something out.
Yeah, I'll ask them who to contact. Because like none of my sergeants are there in the guard anymore. They're all retired.
Oh, here he comes again.
I see you, buddy. Hi.
He just does. He just comes and like puts his little paws up, like, I'm here. Can I come up? He's a cute dude.
He's so adorable.
Yeah, he is.
Hi there. Hi there. Where are you going? I'm coming over to see Dad.
Here he comes.
I wonder how much he weighs. I feel like he weighs like 4 pounds.
He's got to be super light. He's just skin and bones. He's just a little old man. Living his own best life.
He loves it. It's funny how he doesn't like mind if you're like playing with his feet or anything. Like
Yeah.
he's a really chill cat. Like
He's just a little snuggle bug.
don't tickle my feet, Mom. Don't like that. So here I come. Oh, does that feel good?
Meow.
He's like licking. That feel good. That's a good kitten. I think it's funny that we finally get online this week and then like nobody's online.
Yeah.
Oh, you have
I mean-
all over your face.
It is around the holidays, do I? People are probably busy with family and whatever. We got 3 people watching.
And then like remember last week, Chris was just like, "Oh, come on, get on."
Yeah,
get
yeah.
on." Like I can't. Literally.
Last week we were both dead. Like, I was asleep by 8:30 last week. Last Friday. I was just out. And then the week before that, it was the same thing. Like, you and I both just like laid down on the couch. We had talked about streaming the week before last. And we were like, yeah, let's do it.
I don't remember what happened. I think I started getting ready for it or something. Like I washed my hair and it zapped all my energy.
Yeah, that's what happened. You washed your hair And then you were like, that bath just drained me. And then you collapsed on the couch and fell asleep. And I was like, I was doing one of your statistics things, and it took me until like 11 o'clock to finish. And then I was like, I'm done. You were already asleep, and it was already 11 o'clock. And I was like, if we started the stream now, we wouldn't get to bed until like 2 in the morning. And I was like, that's not happening. I just laid down on the couch and went to sleep.
Remember when we used to be able to stream until like 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
And then we just became super old.
Well, I mean, it happens. I think there's a balance, right? Because right now, it really is just a hobby for us. Like, it's just a thing that we can do to, like, honestly, for me, it's like I can get some stuff off my chest, and I can like talk about things, and we can talk about things that are exciting that happen, and just kind of like remember our week together, and like just spend time together. I think if we were making like ad revenue on YouTube and it was actually something that we had to do in order to supplement our income, we'd probably be able to push it till like 2 or 3 in the morning. but right now it's just like, if we stopped right now, it wouldn't matter, because who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you know, so it's a different thing. Motivation would be different if we were making money on it.
Who's Becky, by the way? Is she a real person?
I don't think so. I think he's just making up names.
Okay.
The only Becky I know from high school
Was Becky Thompson.
Yeah. And there was a Becky Lindstrom, I think.
Oh, Becky Lind. She's sat next to you. Yeah.
Okay.
They were both friends with my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was like, I think she was one of the drug people.
Nope, I'm sure she was. She's friends with my brother.
I never really knew her, though.
So Becky Lind ended up dating the guy, Jeremy, that I dated. Weird story about him. When I was in high school, I managed the Van Heusen at the outlet mall. It's like the dress shirt store, whatever. Yeah. So I managed that. I started off like I had gotten a concussion with the horses and everything, and I had been a nanny for triplets, and the nanny with triplets was driving me crazy. So I was like, no, I'm done with that. So then I was like doing all the horse stuff and everything, and feeding horses and like getting them ready and like doing all their like radioactive therapies and stuff. These are like high buck horses. And then got that concussion that put the blood clot in my brain that I had to get like scanned over and over to monitor it. So I wasn't able to work with the horses anymore. So then I got a seasonal job at the Van Heusen. And I didn't mind it. I liked folding dress shirts and I liked making things look super perfect and whatever. So like it was fine for me, and like measuring guys for like dress shirts, like how simple, you know. So, you know, I just did whatever. And then by the end of the season, they were like, we'd like to hire you full time as like a supervisor on the floor. So I was like, cool, you know. So like I was making like $725 or $750 at that time. I know at that point minimum wage was like $4.15 still. And so to me, I was like, I'm making good money. And then the assistant manager left. She took a managing job over at the Jeffrey Bean, which is like a sister store.
Okay.
So then I got promoted to the assistant manager role, and I was like a senior in high school. Like I started when I was a junior, and then by the time I was a senior, I was the assistant manager. Then my boss, that was the manager, got promoted to area manager, and they wanted to promote me to manager, but corporate was like, she's still in high school. Like she might be 18, but like she's still in high school. We're going to have her be a manager. So like I had like the acting manager role with the manager pay. So they paid me like $11 an hour, and I worked full time and whatever. And it was crazy. I was just making so much money as a teenager. Like
Yeah.
You know, I thought when I was getting like 200 a paycheck, that was like bank. And then I was making way more by my senior year, you know? So anyway, I worked there, and like one of the times my mom had like on my 18th birthday, my mom had an accident. She worked at Lakeview Hospice, and she had an accident where like her back went out, her vertebrae like completely compressed, and like everything. She was like half numb. She couldn't walk. She couldn't feel anything on half her body. And so here I was in high school, driving my mom to all her doctor's appointments and everything still, and working full time as a manager of a clothing store. It was pretty crazy. So it was like winter time. I had to bring her to the hospital for like a scan or something because she was having like bowel issues. And so I had to stop at the Brooks. Like, remember when things were called Brooks back
Yeah,
then?
I remember that.
And so I had to stop at the Brooks, and I had to get gas on the way. And so I got out of the car, and it was like super slick around the pumps. And I was wearing like these little loafers, but like the heels were like hard or like hard leather. They weren't like rubber or grippy or anything. And so I slipped on the ice while my hand was in the gas handle or whatever, knocked myself out by hitting my head on the little cement post. And then the dude that was like the cashier had to call, you know, the ambulance to come pick me up. They ended up taking both me and my mom. So I thought that's the last of that story. Like, I wasn't going to like hear about it again or anything like that. I broke my finger pumping gas. It's kind of crazy. And then like years later, I was home visiting. I was a police officer still. And I was singing karaoke at the Stillwater Bowling Alley. And this dude and some other dude, they were like trying to invite me to play darts with them and stuff like that. And so I was talking to this guy, and he seemed really nice, even though he had like he talked weird. But I tried to be like, well, whatever. He probably has like a speech impediment or something. And then he asked me out on a date, and we talked a couple times. And I was like, you know, I don't live here or whatever. But then, like, at the end of that month, like, we continued talking for that month. I saw him twice before I left Minnesota to go back to South Dakota. Then my mom had me come back because she had all that legal issue with her like Kenyan husband. And so I came back, and then I started dating him for real. And he was like, you know what's crazy? It's like, I swear you look like this person when I was working at Brooks. Like, there's this little girl that, like, he said literally little girl. He said this little girl like fell and like knocked herself out while she's pumping gas. And I was like, that's literally me. What? So kind of crazy. And then we had a whole history. It was like a crazy thing. I mean, I was like ready to like consider living with him. Like, we had dated for like 6 months or something like that, and everything was fine. And he was talking about maybe we should get an apartment together and whatever. And at that time, I was working at that vent house, and I was working at the Oakdale Fire Department. So like, I was constantly working, and I lived in White Bear Lake. So it was like, well, yeah, if we could find a place together that was near where I work, that'd be helpful, you know? Anyway, things started seeming kind of odd. And like, he told me that, well, for one, this dude had been in jail.
Okay.
Like, when we first started dating, he like, hey, I want to give you my records for you to look over because I don't want to like appear like I'm lying to you because I know you're a cop and everything. And like, and then your uncle's freaking in charge of the St. Paul police. He's like, I don't want you like finding this stuff out on like him doing a background check or something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you've been in jail? And he was like, it was expunged because my buddies set me up for an arson charge. And I was like, I mean, he literally did have the paperwork that proved it, but like back then I was very foolish and I would give a lot of people more benefit of the doubt than they deserved. So I was like, all right, well, this is his situation. He doesn't hang out with these people anymore. That's good, whatever. But then apparently on the side, he was like a drug dealer. Like he was dealing.
Jesus.
I didn't know this, but I kind of suspected something was up because like he'd get really like shifty when like he'd see like we'd be parked and I'd be like, looking on my phone for like what time the movie would start or whatever. And he was always like, oh, is that a cop? Is that a cop? And I was like, why are you so paranoid? Like it's a cop. No big deal.
Yeah.
But he was like always looking over his shoulder, which he said was because he was in jail and that's how it affected him later. And I was like, yeah, maybe. So anyway, he also told me like within the first 2 months of us dating, he had an ex-girlfriend that he said they had been broken up for a while, but she's like messaging him and saying that she's pregnant. And I was like, so what's going on with that? He's like, well, I don't want to be with her and she's going to have an abortion, so I'm going to drive her to that. And I was like, I didn't honestly know how I felt about that whole situation. Like he's like driving his ex-girlfriend to get an abortion. Like that's not really something I validate, but whatever. And then afterwards, like there was just weird things that would happen. Like it just didn't seem like things added up or like whatever. And then somehow he became a bartender. He was a butcher at Brian's Meat Market. And
Okay.
then he also started bartending at the Eagles 94 Club. And I used to go there all the time for bingo. And so like I'd stop in and have a drink after bingo and hang out. And we were kind of like the sweethearts of the bar. Like everybody knew I was Jeremy's girlfriend, Then one night I was getting off of duty at the fire department and I didn't have to work my overnight shift at the vent house. So I was going to come by there for a drink and he was like, oh no, you shouldn't come tonight. It's really dead, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, that's not a big deal. I just want to come by and see you,
Yeah.
And so then I walk in and like one of the other regulars at the bar, it wasn't dead. There's like other regulars at the bar. And like one of them was like, oh, well, come have a seat here. This is Jeremy's girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And everybody was making like a big thing. Like they came and stood by me and they were like patting me on the shoulders and being like, this is his girlfriend. Like, and I didn't know why. I didn't understand that there was some chick there that was like hitting on him and like acting like he was her boyfriend. So she's like, you do know that he and I have been dating for like 2 years. And I was like, no. And I truly, because his friends at the meat market said she'd come in and harass him there and like, she stalked him all the time and stuff like that. I truly just believed that maybe that's what she was doing now and figured out another place to stalk him at. So I was like, I don't believe you. And she's like, that's fine. You don't have to believe me, but it's true, whatever, back and forth stuff. And I decided at that moment, like I was going to still stand by him because I didn't have any proof that he was cheating on me.
Yeah.
But something in my gut told me to reach out to her. So I found her on whatever, MySpace back then. Yeah. And I messaged her. And then we exchanged numbers, started talking. And apparently, like every time he'd send me like a sweet message, like, hey, babe, blah, 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 he sent it to her also. Like we had the exact same timestamps. He was just sending it to the same person or two people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
it's easy to do when you use pet names.
Yeah. And then like he would go and spend the night at her house when like I had certain nights of the week that like I did something with my friend Angie or like, I did something with my friend Chad and Josh. And so those were like my 2 nights that I always did stuff. And then a lot of the time, I had my kids and everything that I was like sharing time with also. So like I was busy anyway on a lot of my time off from work. Working 2 jobs is a lot. And so he was taking her out and spending the night at her house on those times that I was busy. And then when he and I spent the night together or whatever, like he said to her that, you know, blah, 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 he's doing stuff with his uncle or whatever. So we decided to devise a plan that we were just going to make life hard on him. So like I would message him and be like, oh, hey, I didn't have to work tonight after all. Let's go meet up and have dinner, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's taking her out somewhere and he's getting all these messages and he's like sweating it, you know, and I'm just like, hey, I'm going to stop by your house and see what you're up to. And then she would do that to him while he'd be with me. And I knew it was happening, you know, 'cause she'd be like, I'm going to start messaging him, you know, and then it would be like, I'd be like, I really want to eat at this restaurant, blah, 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 whatever. And then she'd be like, hey, why don't we go have dinner tonight at such and such place? And it would be like that restaurant or the one right next to it, you know? And so he was constantly in panic. We did it for 3 months. And I mean, 3 months, it's a long time to have to pretend that everything's cool and that you love this person and that you're committed and in a relationship and whatnot. And then one night I went to his place. I was supposed to be working that night and I got let off because I was really sick. I had pneumonia and like I couldn't manage working anymore. But like driving to his place was a lot less short of a drive than driving all the way to White Bear Lake. So I drove there and I let myself in because I had a key. And then like it was all dark. He had a roommate and everything. And when I climbed into bed next to him, I realized there was already somebody in my spot. Yeah. So I like freaked out and caused a whole scene and everything, woke his roommate up and all that. And like this chick was naked and like came rushing out of like, you know, and grabbed a quilt, the quilt I crocheted him. It grabbed the quilt and like wrapped herself up and ran into the bathroom to put clothes on, whatever. And then she like skedaddled like white on rice. And so I don't know.
Not white on rice.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. And so anyway, so then he was saying that she was just a friend from Darts. She was super drunk. She couldn't drive home. So he said she could sleep it off at his place. And that, you know, he was sleeping under a different layer of the blanket. It didn't matter. And I was like, I don't believe you at all. And then his roommate talked to me the next day and was like, you know, I'm really sorry. I, you know, saw what happened. I've been wanting to say something to you for a while because you're such a good girl, whatever. And I couldn't tell him at the same time. I've been like setting him up on all this shit.
Yeah.
I know he's cheating on me,
Yeah.
you know? So anyway, he was like begging that we like stay together and whatever. And then like we went to...
His friend was or he was?
No, he was. And then we went out to see Beth Ann at like main event in Anoka or something like that. And she was doing karaoke that night and I met her out there with him. And then I was in the bathroom with my friend Beth Ann and my other friend Jessie. And another chick that knew us came in and said, your dude is kissing some chick out there. And I was like, what in the heck? How does he just have the balls to do this? Like,
Well,
you know, all
guys
the time, you know?
Guys that do that, they just don't give a shit.
So then I was like, that's it. We're really going to like lay it on him now. We're going to like bring it to a head and let's get this done with. So we arranged it so that he was going to spend the night at his other girlfriend's house. She was going to get him all like naked in bed and everything. And then she was going to act like she heard one of her kids downstairs. And so like I crawled through the bushes and I parked like an eighth of a mile down the street and everything. And like I was sitting there waiting. Like I watched his car pull onto her street and turn and everything. Like I saw it. And then she gave me like, she called me and like hung up. So I knew that was a signal. So then I like crept through the ditch and everything in the bushes. And then I let myself into her house and she just acted like, you know, oh, I got to check my kids. I heard a sound downstairs. So instead of her returning back to her bedroom, back to him, it was me. And he was like blown away. It was priceless. he started stuttering. He was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, what do you think I'm doing here? And he's like, whoa. And then she comes up, and she's like, yeah, the jig is up. We've fully caught you. We've known about this for a while. We've been stringing you along, like screwing with you for 3 months. And he was like, well, that's not even fair. And I was like, how is that not fair? Okay. And then he tried telling me, he's like, well, I love you. She's just for the sex. What? Who says that?
Well, guys that do that think that that's a justification. So
Yeah, that was his justification. So obviously we broke up. We were all done with each other. And about a month later, he got caught with his uncle robbing the VFW of their pull tab booth.
Jesus.
Yeah, he got caught, and I guess he hurt somebody too. He assaulted somebody. One of the vets inside there tackled him and held him down till the cops came. That was crazy cool, some old dude. And so anyway,
Be me someday.
yeah, be you. And so anyway, he had to go to jail. And before he went to trial or whatever, and he got out on bail, somebody bailed him. And then he met that Becky Lind. She was a waitress at the Acapulco there in Oak Park Heights. He met her there, and they were flirting and everything. And so they started talking. While he got put in jail, she continued to go visit him and send him letters and everything the whole time he was in there. He was in there for 5 years.
Wow.
And they're still together. I'm kind of shocked. They've never gotten married. She's never had any kids. It's weird. And he's very, very controlling. Tara was friends with her. They used to be drinking buddies because she met him through Kevin.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So then Kevin played poker with him.
I always forget that Kevin was in our class.
Yeah. It's weird. And he was best friends with Donnie Wright.
Some reason I feel like Kevin is always I always feel like Kevin was a class below me or something, but
No, he graduated with you because I was pregnant and married when I attended your graduation. Bolin, Boelen.
that was Chrissy May's brother.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know him in high school. I don't know if
He said he recognized you.
yeah.
He got his.
I was
out
in the drama.
I don't know.
I was in drama and I was in band. So if you ever went to any plays or band concerts, then
Well, and then when I showed Kevin who you were in the yearbook, he was like, "Oh yeah, I recognize him." And he's like, "But we didn't run in the same crowd."
yeah.
And then Becky was like, "Oh, he was the guy that sat next to me when we graduated. He said he was naked under his cap and gown."
Mm-hmm.
She remembered that.
I said that I was wearing pants.
No, okay.
But I told her that.
Yeah, so it's just a super weird 6 degrees of
Yeah.
everything when it came to you. Which is why it's so weird, when we were talking to each other and then I added you on Facebook, I was like,
We had 36
with
mutual
so many
friends.
mutual friends. If you look at our Facebook now, we have over 100 mutual friends.
We've been married for more than 11 years, so that kind of makes sense now. But but when we met, and I was like, "Hey, we're trying to get this dog home. Can you add me on Facebook? I'm going on patrol. Goodbye." And then you added me, and you were like, "How do we already have 36 friends in common?" What the fuck? It's some random soldier in Georgia, and I'm in the Indiana National Guard, and we have 36 friends in common. What?
And immediately I saw that it was most a big clump of friends were the same people that my brother was friends with.
Yeah.
It
makes sense,
And then I
Graduated
then I
from the
looked
same
at where you
class.
graduated from, and then I was like, Stillwater, what? what? This year? I attended that graduation with my ex-husband while I was pregnant.
It's kind of crazy.
It was really crazy. It was so hot during that graduation. Like,
Your sister was only a year ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just nuts. I feel like if I like search my memory. Hello, D-Logic. How are you?
Delogic.
D-Logic. D-Logic? D-Logic
I think it's Delogic.
or D-Logic?
Delogic.
Probably Delogic.
Delogic.
Good. Where are you coming from? Where are you coming at us from? We like to know.
Oh, yeah. I love to know.
I was about to start a bike ride.
Oh, hey.
The Weeb.
So we're just kind of reminiscing. We have like
Yeah,
a
we're-
weird connection.
Yeah, so if you're new to the show, which
You guys are.
you guys are, basically what we do is we just talk about whatever comes to our mind until people come into chat, and then we talk about whatever they want to talk about. So
Yeah.
that's basically how the show goes. It started at the height of the pandemic when we felt like people needed friends.
It's like a whole big situation.
Yeah,
that
we got the Keurig right there. We got a Breville
barista
a
thing.
barista espresso. It does espresso and steamed milk. And then we got the Ninja coffee bar over here.
We have an espresso machine, but I sent it.
Yeah,
to work with him.
it's at my job. So
I don't know. Like, he's kind of a coffee snob. We also have a French press, and we have the drip over. Like, you put the little filter in and then pour it in or whatever.
we have one of those.
Yeah, we've never used it.
I know. Where is it?
It's down there. I bought it. It was super fancy. It was like on sale at Target. It was so pretty. I was like, I'm buying this.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah.
How did I not know we have that?
Yeah, because
I'm
I've
gonna
never
use
used
that
it.
sometime.
So yeah, but yeah.
We had a guy when I was in Kandahar that had one of those and did the pour over and just like spilled coffee juice everywhere. It was
He was a mess.
yeah, it was funny. Hey, Turkakmic 43. Wow, we got lots of new people in chat. How you doing, man?
I've
How
only
was everybody?
I've only had Arabic coffee once.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so I lived in Indiana, and
I've never had Arabic coffee. Hey, thanks for the
Hey.
follow. Who's that? Hisoka Weeb.
so I
Hisoka Weeb.
I lived in
Hisoka
Southern
Weeb.
Indiana. I was like putting myself out there on the Match.com situation, which my sergeant told me was like going to the mall and like shopping for a date. Turns out it's really much more like at the outlet mall. Like you get the crap.
The dregs.
Get the crap. So anyway, I ended up going on a date with this guy that was actually like the head doctor of like the hospital in Henderson.
You went on. You went on.
Like he
a
was
date
he was the chief of staff at
with
this
the
hospital.
senior doctor, and now you're stuck with me.
He was very demanding. Okay, so like
Oh, I mean, fair enough.
so I met him, and then we went to like a restaurant, and he like looked at my car, and he was like, "That's what you drive?" It was apparently not good enough for his standards, and he was just like, "Well, if we're gonna date, I'm gonna have you drive a Mercedes."
Oh wow.
I'm like, "What?" I'm not, and I was very proud of my own independence because I had come out of a shitty divorce, and I was like doing well in life and paying for everything by myself and doing awesome. So I was very proud that I could provide my own stuff for myself and have plenty of money left over. So here he's telling me that I need a better car, and it was like, what? So then the second date, we had met at a restaurant, had dinner or whatever, and then afterwards he said that he needed to run back to his house and his office and print out some stuff, and he had to run to the hospital, and he wanted me to just like keep him company basically. So like
So you just did like a ride along with him.
yeah, so I did like a ride along with him from the restaurant to his place. I was 32.
I was 27.
And then
Now I'm 39.
I'm 44. Because I'm old.
My first time.
Yeah, my first time I got married in high school, I was 18.
I'm her fourth husband.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my husband's did not last a year. each of 'em.
We've been married more than 11 years now, so.
You have
Yeah,
plenty
you got
of
plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's no need to rush it. No need to rush it.
So this doctor though, like he made me this coffee and it was super amazing. And then like, he like was looking for a specific pencil. I don't know why, but he had to have a specific pencil. To, like,
Doctors are weird like that.
so weird. And then we got back to the hospital, and then he wanted to make some tea. So like then he made tea there and like was explaining to me how you make all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll try and remember this. I didn't think it was like basically like my like I'm training you, wife thing, you know. And then
That makes sense.
yeah, and
He was like getting you ready for doing his work for you.
yeah.
Jesus.
And then, so then he was like doing some like continuing education, and he was like getting like an extra like specialty or something like that. He had to go take a board test. And the day came and he got to the test or whatever, and like his pencil broke. His like so-called super special HB #2 pencil, like it had to be a certain type and softness. And so he called me before it happened. It was like, please go to my place and get me my pencils and meet me here. And I was like working, like I'm at work, and dude, I'm not going to drop my life and go bring you freaking pencil for your test. So he got really pissed off at me about that. And so that was like a situation.
This is the first I'm hearing about this one. This is interesting.
Then the next day, like I was, frustrated. I didn't really want to talk to this dude at this point because, for one, he was very short. Okay.
This wasn't Andre, was it?
No.
Okay.
This dude's very short, and his.
I'm sorry about the flickering camera, everybody. I don't know what's causing it. It doesn't normally do that.
And like he wore big shoulder pads in his suit jackets, and I was like, "Why you gotta look like you're something you're not?" That's weird to me.
That's
But whatever.
That's weird. That's something. That's like women wear shoulder.
It was an equal opportunity dater back then. So.
Were you in Indiana?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so then he told me that he wanted to take me on a cruise in like 2 weeks that he like got a good deal on, and blah, blah, blah. We were going to go to whatever. And I was like, I can't get time off work that short notice. He was like, you should just quit your job and come work for me.
That's kind of crazy.
Right. And I was like, no.
You should have been like, what are you going to pay me?
Dude already was pissed off I didn't drive a Mercedes, and he was expecting me to make his coffees and teas and bring him his pencils.
You could have had the life. Now you're stuck with a poor pilot.
In the Army.
Yeah. Poor Army pilot.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, I was never like sexual with him or like even like got to like feeling down there. But in my mind, I imagined his penis was the size of my pointer finger.
Probably. I mean, it sounds like he had a lot of compensation going on.
That was kind of a situation. That was weird.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of red flags there, but he was going to buy you a Mercedes.
Stuart would have bought me a car too, and I didn't have to date him.
That's true. He's just a good person.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I moved back to Minnesota from Indiana and met him on like a dating app or whatever, and I was just looking for friends.
Well, it depends. If that's something that you're looking for, then
like if you're looking to spoil somebody, and that makes you happy, making them like completely fulfilled, then maybe that works for you.
Me personally, I can't deal with high maintenance. I'm not, because I am not a. I mean, you can ask her. I'm not an affectionate person. Yeah. So high maintenance people, I have always had a hard time with. Unfortunately, our kid is high maintenance. So with a kid, you don't have a choice. But
when we start talking, I was just looking to be friends because I was in a situation where like I had already dealt with all the shit relationships. I didn't want to get married again.
I had given up on romance. So
Yeah, make her buy her own.
yeah, if she can't buy, if she wants a Louis Vuitton bag and she can't buy it for herself, then that's her problem.
Yeah, you don't need that to live. And then, so anyway, we met.
I can tell you, it took me 10 years to get that. I don't know if you can see
You
it.
can't.
But
It's so small back here. No, it's like 3 carats plus for a ring.
the logic, so traveling is, so I'm in the Army, so I've traveled a lot of places, but not all of them have been voluntary. So I've been to Malaysia, Thailand, obviously Iraq and Afghanistan, Kuwait,
Scotland,
Scotland, Ireland, Germany, and then as a civilian, I've been in just about every state in the United States. Germany, I went to with my parents, and that's about it, civilian-wise.
For me, I've only been to like Mexico. I've been to like Canada and then a whole bunch of states.
Saddam Hussein, I mean, I've not done a lot of reading on him. I only know him as a dictator, so that's about all I know about him. I know he's dead, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think he was a very good guy. I think as far as the Kurds go, he wasn't he was a pretty terrible person. The Kurds didn't like him very much, but and I personally don't think he was a very good person, but the Middle East is a weird place. Like the culture over there is different, so I can't really, as an American, I think the whole culture's messed up, but that's their culture, so I can't,
Like you can't really put
that's how they live.
Opinion on other people's
so
cultures.
You can't tell them how to live their lives, and that's how they live. I was out there when we had a vet come, and we had 1,000 sheep come through to get their inoculations when a vet was there, and then we had a female doctor come, and one female showed up. The vet was there for 2 days. We had 1,000 sheep. The female doctor was there for 7 days. On the 7th day, one female showed up and said she had to leave because all the husbands were beating their wives because they thought it was their fault that she was there. But that's their culture. Like, I think it's fucking bullshit that happened. I think that's terrible, but that's just how they live. That's their life. So, that's what they do. And yeah, Saddam Hussein killed a lot of innocent people. I walked through an old prison from the Saddam Hussein era, and it was, it's hard to say what went down there and what caused all the damage that was in there, but like I walked through the shower area of this prison, and there was just like bullet pits in all the walls. There were no holes through the walls, so those bullet pits happened inside the prison in the shower. It was a Kurdish prison. Saddam Hussein historically was really violent against the Kurds, so it's resolutions. Let's move on to a lighter topic. Resolutions. I don't really do resolutions. Because I don't know. It's just like I feel like if you're making a resolution, you're not committed to the result. Because it's like, oh, it's the new year. I got to do something for the new year. So if you're gonna make a resolution, just make it a commitment. You know what I mean? So I don't do New Year's resolutions. But if I was gonna make a New Year's resolution, I would say finish my trading robot. That would be my New Year's resolution. Finish my trading robot by the end of the first quarter of 2023, so that I can re-enter my challenge.
Well, typically a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm needing to lose weight. I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to do all these great healthy things for myself, whatever. And like, I actually started like doing all that this summer and then lost a ton of weight. So I don't feel like I need to make that kind of like resolution now because I've already met my health goals probably, I would say.
I would say if you lost any more weight, it would be a cause for concern, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think you're at a healthy weight right now, and your nutritionist seems to agree with me, so.
I lost 45 pounds since the middle of July. Sheesh.
Oof. Are you competing in something or what's going on?
No, I'm 29% body fat.
Well, for females, it's different.
I want to be shredded too.
Well, if you want to be so that's the thing. So something to be honest with yourself about is like being shredded is not a sustainable. Like even professional body models, they get to that point for the photo shoot and then they relax it a little bit.
They still look shredded when they relax it.
Well, they look like it because that's just the way that their body fat is. But I used to be 12% body fat.
And then he married
when I was
me.
in the infantry. Wow, and then I joined aviation. So
when I was at my smallest when we were married, I was at 21% body fat.
that's pretty good for a female.
And I was like 118 pounds, and everybody tells me that I look like death.
You did not look healthy.
And it's weird to me because I weigh as much as I weighed when I went into the Army National Guard now. So, like, I feel like that's overweight.
I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my life.
Not me right now. Now, I think that my resolution would be something like trying to maintain boundaries while I'm in my nursing rotation.
Well, that is up to you. I would say so. Hisoka Weeb. Based on your name, I can't tell. I'm not going to assume your gender, but
No, I don't force feed him.
so here's the issue, like, right? Because if you get everybody's situation is different, but I would say the stereotypical situation is you get married, and now you have somebody that cooks for you and makes really good food that you want to eat, and you no longer. So when you're in the dating realm as a man, you have to impress, right? But now you're married. You're not, the pressure to impress isn't so high. So not only that, you have this wonderful woman that's cooking for you and everything like that, and you eat all the delicious food, and you don't really pay attention to whether or not it's healthy for you. Yeah, so you get comfortable, you gain weight. Gandalf has a good point there, comfort weight. I gained weight. Yeah, I gained weight after I got married. Because when we first got married, before Chrissy May's had a lot of health issues, and it's not her fault. But when we first got married, before all the health issues kicked in, she made like the best food you could ever imagine. Like she made little, like, they were like Hot Pockets made out of croissant rolls with like some chicken bacon ranch magic inside. They were amazing. She made like little cupcake things that were like ham, cheese, egg, bacon, sausage, like magic. You bring them into work and everybody be jealous. And yeah, it was amazing. I had somebody
There, I because of my health issues, I thought I needed to follow a paleo diet. So we ate strictly paleo, but it didn't taste paleo. Like I would bake cookies and everything, and like
dad bod has been a thing for a while.
It didn't taste like nasty or anything. It tastes like regular cookies.
Well, Chrissy May's, she made these cookies. Oh my god, so they were like chocolate chip cookies, and they had bacon bits in them, and they were like. They didn't have any like wheat or anything, flour or anything like that, and they were so goddamn good. So and on top of it, when you get older, you stop caring about certain things. You stop caring about like impressing certain people. So as I've aged, I've gotten a little heavier. Now, for me, it's a bigger deal because I'm in the Army and I still have like a standard to maintain. And I've gotten to a point now where every time I have to like prove that I'm maintaining the standard, it's a little stressful for me. I don't like that very much.
You used to work out twice a day when you were in the infantry.
When I was in the infantry, when I was younger.
Yeah. When you were younger, you were infantry. All you did
And
was
now I
work
got a
out all
bad
day.
hip.
Now
Well, I got
he's,
both my hips
now he's a
bad.
Black Hawk pilot. He doesn't work out every day. I think some girls do. I don't think all girls do. I have found that like I didn't care about men's bodies, and actually until I married him. Like when I married him, he was like the most fit person I'd ever been with.
I had the V. Like if you've read any Shakespeare plays where they talk about the V in the back.
Yeah, the V-liner. Yeah. See, he was like that. I mean, you could see all the muscles in his back when he'd be wearing like a t-shirt and stuff. I thought that was so cool. His thighs and his calves were huge, just like
My calves are still huge.
solid
to be sure.
bricks, you know? And I was so impressed. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is like a muscle man. And I liked it actually, which was weird because I never cared about it before that. And then being with him, then I started to care.
It's so in like conversations that we've had together, it's like a safety thing because when we would snuggle and like I would wrap my arms around her, she said she'd feel safe because she had all that strength around her and it was like a protection thing. So girls may say they don't care about the physique, and they don't. They don't care about the physique. But when it comes to that feeling of safety, that's what makes them feel, that's what they care about. And so you like wrap your arms around her when you've been working out twice a day, and it's like they feel all that strength and they're like, this man is going to keep me safe. This man is going to protect me. And that's like a primal thing. You know, that's like a ancient human, like, this man will protect me from the saber-toothed tiger that could be out there kind of thing. So I think that's like a natural, that's like a, yeah, and that is part of it too, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't care if I was with a super fit guy. I mean,
I'm not fit anymore.
I did date a guy I had an issue with, and like it was a weird situation, but like he was a police officer and he was like really like always working out, but he said he had to work out all the time because he loved to eat so much. And so then he had to like make up for whatever. But he did like Ironmans and like he was always in the gym and everything. It's crazy.
Iron Man ruined my hips. I'm convinced.
So I felt kind of insecure dating him at the time, even though we had a great connection and everything was fine between us. But because I used to be a cop and I was no longer a cop, I felt like I was comparing myself to him and I felt like I didn't add up. Like because I wasn't still a cop, I felt like I was not worth what I could be worth to him. I thought he was going to look down on me. So it was kind of weird. But like him, he was more fit than this other dude when we started dating. And I had never really cared much about like how men looked. Like I probably wouldn't have been with some 600-pound guy, but I had definitely been with some chubby guys. And like I thought it was really attractive that he was so fit. So sometimes I feel bad now because he's not, and I'm just like, oh, I wish he was still like that. That was great, you know. But I'm not the same way either.
I feel bad because I'm not like that too. Like when I used to work out twice a day, but it was easy because at that time my job was to work out twice a day. Literally, like when I was in the infantry, my job was to be fit to fight. Right. So if I didn't have anything going on at work, there was no problem with me going to the gym and just working out. But now I have to worry about like if I injure myself, like a sports injury that grounds me because I'm a pilot now. So like if I get grounded, that takes away from the capability of the company. So I can't push myself as hard as I used to. And then on top of it, the job just is more demanding. As I get higher and higher, more and more responsibility, I just don't have the time. I used to be able to, like, I'd be sitting at work and I'd be like, well, I'm just sitting here and I got nothing else to do. I'm going to go to the gym. And I'd tell my superiors I'm off to the gym and they'd be like, cool, see you later. Now, if I went to my superior and I was like, I'm going to go to the gym, they'd be like, well, don't you have something better to do right now? Like, you should do the gym in your free time. You shouldn't be doing the gym while you're working because you got work to do. So it's a different thing.
And it's kind of crazy because now he's gotten himself in this situation where, like, because of when he was infantry, he sustained injuries to his SI joints. So now there are some days where he literally cannot walk. He was using crutches a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I had to go to
And
the
I had
ER
to take him to the ER.
Yeah, she had to force me to go to the
I
ER.
forced him to go to the ER because he couldn't move.
Because the issue for me too, if I go to the ER and with that specific situation, I had I'm a medevac pilot, so I pull 25-hour medevac duties every so often, and I had duty on Monday. But if I go to the ER, I cannot fly. I cannot accept a duty shift. I cannot accept like the risk to fly. Like, I just can't. It's
They won't
not possible.
It's not allowed.
So if I go to the ER, I have to. Like, the unit doesn't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I have to find somebody else to cover that shift, and it's a big burden. So I was trying to avoid going to the ER with all my might. With all my might. I was like, I'm going to gut through this because I know that, you know, after a couple days, maybe I'll be able to walk again. I'll be good to fly. But, you know, Saturday came around and I was like, if it is like this on Monday, I cannot safely operate an aircraft. I have to go to the ER and get this taken care of. And I won't be able to pull duty on Monday.
That's true.
That's true.
40-ish does break you. I feel like
Yeah.
my body totally broke down when I was 35. Like, definitely my body broke down after that. And then
75, that's not bad. I got to, so about what, 3 years ago? About 3 years ago, I was able to bench 250. What is going on back?
sniffles it. Oh my gosh.
What is happening? We got animals that are just like,
That cat just puked on the
they're
floor.
just like explosive puking all over the
What
place.
in the world is happening?
So yeah,
And then the dog just ate it.
the dogs are coming over and clean it up. That's
Gross.
anyway, at my best, so I was doing some heavy lifting. What, about 2 years ago? I was doing the leaner, bigger, stronger, whatever that program is. I got to the point where I could bench 275. I could squat. For some reason, my squats weren't keeping up. Like, I could squat 300, but I could leg press like 520, like on the leg press machine. I used literally every weight the gym had, and I could press it. And then my deadlift. I think I got my deadlift up to 300, but my wrists
I'm pretty proud of my
couldn't.
best weightlifting efforts. But I only weightlifted when I was a police officer because
Yeah.
it was required for our PT test. You had to bench press like a certain percentage of your weight.
Airborne will beat you up.
And so I was like 150 pounds when I was a cop. I'm like 5'0", basically, like nothing high.
4'8".
Whatever. And I could bench press 126 pounds.
Wow.
So like I just like started from like nothing. I didn't know how to bench press anything. Like, we took the little class in gym in high school, but like, you know, I was not in high school anymore. So I had a friend of mine that used to be the sports coach for high school in the area. And so he trained me, and they had like a weight set in their basement or whatever. So anyway, he started me doing this like triangle, this pyramid thing or whatever, like building on reps and stuff like that. And it took me 3 weeks to go from the bar to 100 pounds and then another 2 weeks
That's pretty good for 3
to
weeks.
like get to 126. And that was the most I ever tried because that was like, oh, I made it, you know, like that's my 100% mark. So, but I do know that I could leg press 475 in high school. So I don't know what I did like because I didn't attempt it when I was a cop. I didn't need to. But
In high school, actually, yeah. When we did the weight unit in high school, I was actually pretty good at lifting, but I mean, I got those Viking genes. I always surprised people in high school with like sports because I'm not I've never been a sports person, but I am when you challenge me, I will compete. And like with the sports, like anytime we played sports in high school, I wasn't a jock, so everybody kind of dismissed me, but since I was playing since I was playing a sport against an adversary, I was competitive, and like there was like we did the soccer unit in high school, and I did like some sliding, like I like slid and stole the ball and like dribbled it down and kicked a goal and everything. Okay, and like everybody was surprised because I'm not I'm an art kid. Like I was in band, I was in photography, I was in a comedy improv team in high school, I was in drama, like I was an art guy. So nobody really, considered me a jock or anything like that, or considered that maybe I would be competitive in sports. But then whenever we did like sports units in gym class, I always surprised everybody because I don't know. And come to find out, my grandfather was a very like hot-tempered individual, and I'm fairly certain I have some Viking blood from my heritage, and I have some Borderlands blood from my mom's side because she's Scotch Irish. So I have a lot of fighting genes. Apparently my grandfather had such a temper that like our family history mentions it. Like people were afraid to make him angry. So it makes a lot of sense. I have a long, what did I say? A slow burning fuse, but once it's lit, it goes real fast. So, kind of makes sense like that. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. I had a whole bottle of wine because Chrissy May, the wine didn't taste very good to her, so I drank the whole bottle. But yeah, airborne ops, Gandalf, yeah, those will beat you up. Those will beat you up. That's why they don't let pilots do it. I'm in the 82nd Airborne, and I don't jump because I'm a pilot, and they don't want to break me. They spent over $1 million on my like basic education, and now I have over 1,000 hours of flight time. They definitely don't want to break me. So, and all that vibration has, my hips were bad when I was in the infantry. Yeah, exactly. You break a leg, or you land wrong and your knee pops, and that's it. You're done, son. And honestly, air assault operations are way more viable nowadays than airborne operations ever, are. They were great in World War II, but I'm not going to say there's no use case. I'm sure there's a use case for airborne operations now, but there hasn't been an airborne operation since World War II. I mean, yeah, there you go. That's something. You get some VA love. So
I guess Pierre's just outside for the long haul.
Yeah, he never wants to come back in. Yeah, so it is what it is. But the metabolism thing. Well, you said you were 26. When I was 25, my even though I was in the infantry at the time, my metabolism took a dive. Like when I joined the army, I was 175. Before I joined the army, I was not a athlete by any stretch of the imagination. I was a photographer. I was a valet. I was a over-the-road truck driver. The most physically demanding thing I did is I was a package handler at FedEx during Christmas season. So not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination. So when I joined the Army, I was 175. I went through basic. When I finished basic, I was 175. I went to selection for Special Forces, and I failed out. When I failed out of selection, I was 160. And then when I went on my first deployment with the infantry, I was back up to 175. And then when I got back from that deployment, I was 180 something, 186 or something like that. And then I stuck around like the 190 point until I hit 25. And then ever since I hit 25, I shot up over 200 pounds, and I haven't been below 200 pounds since.
Oh no, that's
Except for a short stint.
Yeah, you came back.
Except for a short stint when I was in Kuwait in 2020. And that was, I ran a lot. When I was in Kuwait, because I was trying to train for an Ironman, there was a guy there that did Ironmans, and I was all excited about it. And I was running about 90 miles a month. And my hips have paid for it. But I came back from that, and I was below 200 pounds. I was like 196. And then my hips gave up on me, and now I'm over 230. And it's a struggle to get below that. Because I can't, I suppose I could go lift. I could do.
Gains are made in the kitchen.
It's true. I could go do the lifting workouts that I did when I was doing heavy lifting, when I was doing leaner, bigger, stronger, whatever it is. And that would probably help because it would shift all my weight up to my upper body, but. And I liked that. I mean, I liked the lifting.
Yeah, I like lifting too. I would rather do that than cardio.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather do that. But right now, my nutritionist said if I don't get 1,000 calories in a day, I shouldn't be exercising.
I mean, it makes sense. Your body needs those calories.
So, and something that I have been doing for a while now is and knowing that a lot of days I can't get many calories in. So then on a day every so often, I just don't care if I'm getting carbs or I don't care what I'm eating. Normally I'm always protein focused, and I'm anti-carb everything. But since September, I've been trying to just have a random day every once in a while that I just eat whatever and hopefully get some carbs that way. And I think that helps me. I think that's what's been
I mean, it's important. You either, you got to have one or the other, carbs or fats, for sure. But ultimately, based on the reading that I've done, you just need a balanced, you need more protein than the other two. But you need just to have, your body needs it all. It's just the processed carbs. It's like white flour, processed sugar. Those are the things you need to avoid. Avoid? Avoid. That's a word, right?
Yes, crazy.
Okay. Those are the things you need to avoid. But
I'm not even caring about that right now.
Complex carbohydrates.
Because, I on average get 300 to 500 calories, if that, a day.
Well, that's not enough.
And so for me to just eat whatever the hell I want to one day, maybe half a roast beef sandwich at Arby's or, a couple fries, normally I'd freak out about the couple fries. I'd be like, oh my God, there's carbs. I don't need those extra carbs. It's 35 extra calories and shit. And I would normally be a little panicked about it. But now I'm just if it's a day where I just need to eat, I just eat right now. I'm just trying to get any kind of food.
I think at the point that you're at, that's really what you need. I don't think you're not at a situation where you need to be concerned really about what you're eating at all, because 500 calories a day is nothing.
But it can make you keep pounds on you because your body.
Well, you go into starvation mode, yeah. But even still,
and that's why I've been doing a mini carb cycling, so to speak.
Yeah. Even still, though, even though you're in starvation mode, that's because you're not getting enough calories. Like, you can be in starvation mode, you're still going to lose weight because if you're only eating 500 calories a day, like your body can't generate energy. You know, it can't generate. So it's gonna it's going to try to hold on to as much as it can for as long as it can.
Yeah, I would say that because of like my limitations, I can't have fiber and everything like that. I had been following a thing that's called ketovore. It's like a cross between carnivore and keto, and ketovore allows you to have like a couple of small, extra things other than meat. Like they allow you to like sweeten things with honey. They allow you just couple simple things extra. But like for the longest time since I lost my stomach, I've really only been able to handle just protein. So I've really been like carnivore for a long time. And then I started trying to add in some like keto approved vegetables. And so then I was more ketovore. But now my doctors don't want me having so much the vegetables because my body gets blockages and then it's like a serious situation.
That's a huge hazard.
And I just don't break down fibers at all.
But she loves salads.
I love salads. I do sometimes try to eat a salad and it gets me in the head because it's just like occasionally, like I'll eat a little bit of salad, like four forkfuls or something like that. And then I'm just like, oh my God, this is so good. And then I stop, because I don't want to like eat so much lettuce that I'm going to end up in the hospital. But then sometimes it doesn't do anything to me. Sometimes it doesn't get stuck in me. It doesn't cause cramping. It does nothing. So then I get it in my head that I can just eat this anyway. Like it's okay to eat it. And then I get in trouble. I get blockages. I have to go to the doctor, the hospital. So I'm really supposed to be just not having vegetable or fruit fibers. And everything I eat is supposed to be like a paste consistency. It's got to be like a soft consistency. If I have meat, I'm supposed to have it with gravy.
Huh.
Yeah, she was very specific. She was like, you really
hot roast and stuff like that.
Yeah, she was like, you really need to mince up your food before you eat it, so that way it's already small bites.
So you can't have like a decent steak.
No, I'm not supposed to. Technically,
unless you had a steak sauce with it.
Yeah.
The sacrilege.
Maybe like prime rib with the au jus sauce.
Ooh.
And then
Did you have that prime rib at Friendsgiving?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You should have. It was good.
I didn't have any meat.
What?
No, I had stuff that I knew I could like eat a little bit of. I had a little bit of tater tot hot dish, and I had a little bit of like, I don't know. Oh, I had cornbread casserole.
I had so many ribs, and then I just wanted to keep eating, but I couldn't fit any more food in my mouth.
It gets to a point where when you chew too much, you start gagging. It's like the food automatically starts sliding down your throat and you can't stop it. And then it gets like right here, and I have like a narrowed esophagus. So then I start choking, and then I often throw up my stuff and have to swallow it back down. When I take my meds at night, I throw up nearly every night.
Yeah, right. Blend everything. I remember watching you. So I remember watching you blend boneless chicken wings and blue cheese together, and I was just like, my God. Like I felt for you, man. Like I know Ian and I were pretty cruel. During that whole situation. Because we were fucking,
teenagers.
We were kids, but when I watched you blend, so we went to TGI Fridays, and Ian and I were just fucking assholes, like eating hamburgers, like, oh, this is the best hamburger I've ever had. I can't believe, oh, it's so good. Oh my god. And meanwhile, Gandalf is over there with his like to-go order of boneless buffalo chicken wings and like extra blue cheese, and then we went back to his house and watched him dump it all in a blender and blend it together and suck it through a straw, and it was like, god damn, that's gotta suck, like, Jesus. But at that point we're committed. Like, I felt bad for being an asshole, but I was also committed to being an asshole, you know, so yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because you couldn't suck it because that would, yeah.
Space Station Zeta, Andy, he bought like a blender so that way he could like blend up like beef stew basically, or like clam chowder and stuff like that. And then he bought like all these tubes, like these plastic tubes that you can like vacuum seal. So he was like, I'm just gonna make you a bunch of like beef stew, and then we'll put it in the tubes, and then we'll like vacuum seal it, and then all you gotta do is microwave it and like use it like a freezy, like suck it down.
Oh, Jesus.
He has all the stuff there. All the stuff there. I was like, one of these times I'm there, that's what we're gonna make. We're gonna make freezy beef stew packets. And that's basically what I need now. Like, that would be my lifesaver.
Yeah, for you, I think that'd be good. I don't know. Chrissy Gumi and I would have to have our own meals.
She already does.
It's true.
She's such a carbaholic. It's crazy.
She's like, I know we got like,
have ramen?
I know we have 1,000 leftovers in the fridge, but I'm just going to make ramen. Okay. Get scurvy. I don't care.
I made a whole turkey. Nobody's ate any turkey.
No, I have eaten turkey.
Oh, okay.
Don't say nobody's eaten turkey, because I have eaten a lot of that turkey.
It's probably needs to get
the only one that's eaten that turkey. I mean, ramen's good, yeah, and I taught her how to make the 6-minute boiled egg. Have you done that? You put a boiled egg, you put an egg in already boiling water for 6 minutes, take it out, put it in an ice bath, peel it, put it in your ramen. It's like a perfectly soft boiled egg. It's delicious. Oh my god. It's so good. Yeah. So good.
That's his contention. He's like,
And then I did, we found some, what's it called? Some like chorizo pork or whatever it is.
Chorizo?
No, it's not chorizo. Chorizo is Mexican, but it's Japanese. Mm-hmm. It's like a Japanese seasoned pork.
You do all the cooking.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot better at cooking.
I would think would have all the great ethnic recipes.
Katsu, that's what it is, yeah.
Or is she very Americanized? I don't know anything about your girlfriend other than what she looks like and meeting her that one time. What? People make assumptions off of people's like appearances.
No, I know. It's true. It's the what is it? Blink?
Oh, okay. I'm his sous chef now because I don't have the energy to
cook. Yeah. She's taught me a lot. Like, I wouldn't know how to cook lasagna if it wasn't for her. But I've also gotten pretty good at making steak.
What?
Wow.
She'd eat it?
Oh my god.
How do you eat a steak that's been microwaved?
I'm like, oh, I can't even.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Yeah, if you want to eat anything in your house, you're gonna have to do the cooking.
I can't figure out how to microwave the steak to medium rare. Oh my god. Oh, that like hurts me to my soul.
So I have a pad thai recipe that I follow, and then I like I kind of change a couple things or add a couple things in. And apparently, according to Gitch, it tastes just like what he'd get over when he was like over in Thailand. So that's kind of a compliment to me.
Yeah, the only thing she makes it without meat, but
Yeah.
but other than that, it's exactly the way it tastes in Thailand.
And because I just have this thing, like I eat the pad thai at like the restaurants, and I can't tell the chicken is chicken. And then I was at COP that had to deal with like that Chinese buffet place with all the rabbits in the freezer, and so now I'm just like icked. All the meat in Asian food, I'm like, oh nope, I don't trust it. So that's hard for me. But when we were in Washington, and I asked you because
Cats too.
they were using cats, like ragdoll and Himalayan cats, and rabbits as their meat in their buffet. It was disgusting. So anyway, when we were in Washington and I had that sinus infection that went to my brain, like you had to start taking over a lot of cooking. I still cooked a lot to think back on it. It's crazy, you know? But then like I gave you the recipe and told you just follow the directions, and you screwed it all up.
Well, yeah, because like it's like the checklist for starting an aircraft. It'll say the step, and then after the step is a whole bunch of directions you have to follow in order to do that step. But I'm like, okay, crack the egg and put it in the thing. I did it. And then there's a bunch of shit you're supposed to do to the egg before you put it in the thing. I'm like, God damn it.
That's why you're supposed to read a recipe all the way through.
But I mean, I think I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, a lot of. I think what turned the corner was when you figured out fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh yeah, that Alfredo sauce is fucking.
There's been
bomb.
a lot of things that you still don't cook as good as me, but it's edible.
I make some good clam chowder,
the honey garlic shrimp was not edible.
No, but I didn't follow a recipe for that. I was just like, oh, fucking honey, fucking garlic. There's not enough honey. There's still not enough honey. There's still not enough honey. Put more honey in that fucker. It was not good.
It's disgusting. And the shrimp were like rubber. Oh my God, I just couldn't. Mise en place. Yo. I think that...
Yeah, I've gotten to that point, and it actually drives her crazy because I use a ton of dishes when I do that. We did, what was it? What was the one that we did?
Hello Kitchen?
HelloFresh?
HelloFresh, yeah.
So we did HelloFresh for a while, and I would read through the whole recipe, and then I would set out we got a bunch of Pyrex, like tiny little Pyrex things, and I would basically use all of the ones that we have to like do spices and like have all the stuff like set out the way that we needed it. I'd chop all the things and put them in another Pyrex dish, and then I'd like prep the meat and put it in a Pyrex dish, and then I would put the pan on. That's how we did it at Famous Dave's too. So, but then there's 1,000 dishes to do when you're done.
And if he was going to make an uber amount of dishes, I was not going to do those dishes. That's why we have a child.
Yeah, in a restaurant, but it's kind of annoying to do.
But like when I'm cooking, like if I'm baking something special or making something that's more intricate, like I do my dishes as I go, and then I put it in the drying board so that way I can like reuse it if I need to. He doesn't do that.
Nah, I just put it in the sink.
He just uses a gazillion dishes.
Right. Or well, ideally the dishwasher would be empty, and then I would put the dishes in the dishwasher. But the problem is our dishwasher is tiny. You gotta like literally our dishwasher. You gotta run it 3 times a day if you want to keep up on the dishes. So.
I think that Gandalf and I could have like a cook-off. He would beat me in stamina. I'd probably start breaking down at some point. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to die.
You'd beat him in cheesecake, though.
I beat most anybody in baking things.
Yeah. Yeah, there was somebody when I was in flight school that was talking about baking and how like you have to follow the recipe precisely. Like if you're a baker, you can't just like mix stuff together and expect it to come out. And I was like, well, my wife does that all the time. And he was like, yeah, and it comes out like shit all the time, right? And I was like, no, it like comes out amazing because she just like, I don't know, she just bakes stuff and it just, she like looks at the recipe and she's like, I don't like that. And she like adds this and takes this out and adds that and takes this out. And then it turns out awesome. Yeah. Yeah. She can just like,
I do that with all my recipes though. Like I will have like a basic core recipe and then like the things that I don't think that I want to use in it, I sub it for other stuff. And sometimes I just like, I don't follow the amounts. Like I might, if I make my chili or something, the original recipe says like 3 tablespoons of chili powder. But like I have found through experience that sometimes it depends on like how your tomato juice like cooks off and how the chili responds with that. So like a lot of times I use a lot more chili powder.
it's true. Yeah, that is true. I will say I make a mean clam chowder as long as I have the right clam base.
Yeah.
If I have to,
One time it didn't taste right though. I don't.
yeah, well, it's because I had to make my own clam base because we didn't plan ahead, and we wanted to make it, but I didn't have time to wait for the clam base to come. I got to make it more often though, because the last time we bought clam base, I had to throw it out because it went bad.
We only make it once a year.
Yeah, we should make it more. I like it.
I just got a sourdough starter that is over 150 years old.
So I have a recipe for you, Gandalf. When we lived when we were at Fort Lewis, we went to Duke's Chowder House, which they had, like, you go to Duke's Chowder House and on the table they have their recipe. And I think the reason they do it is because it takes the first year that I did it. It's become a New Year's tradition for us. But the first year that I did it, it literally took the whole day. It literally took the whole day to do it because I didn't know how to make a roux.
You can still find it online.
You can find it online, yeah. I didn't know how to make a roux, and so I had to figure that out. Yeah. Seattle, Tacoma.
On the Sound, yeah. Yep. There's multiple locations, but they're all on the Sound.
But yeah, the main one is in Renton on the Sound. Yeah. So I didn't know how to make a roux, and then that took me a while to figure out. I fucked it up one time, and I had to throw it out, and then I but every year after that, it's gotten progressively quicker, and I'm down to like 3 hours now. It takes me about 3 hours to make the Duke's Chowder House clam chowder, and it's seriously the best clam chowder I've ever had. It's even better. So when I was in Boston, I went to the Boston Fish Mart, and apparently their clam chowder is the one that's served at the inauguration every year or every 4 years, when the new president is inaugurated. But Duke's Chowder House is fucking amazing, and they just give you the recipe. So as long as we have the patience,
numerous recipes too. Like you can get the original, like regular clam chowder. You can get the Manhattan clam chowder. Like
you can get the lobster bisque. Mm-hmm. They give you all their recipes are just on the table. You just take them and bring them home with you, and that's what we've been using. And it's good. It's amazing. I mean, it's good clam chowder. It just takes 3 hours to make. So you gotta have the patience to do it.
That first year, I had just had surgery, and I was like drugged out of my gourds. So
I can send it to you. I'll send it to you. Yeah, or just search
it online. Yeah.
Because Duke's Chowder House, if you just search Duke's Chowder House in Seattle, and they'll give you the recipe. And they do it because it takes, if you're If you're proficient at it, it takes 3 hours to make, and nobody's going to take that time. That's why I'm convinced that's why they give the recipe out, because if you're a chef at a restaurant, 3 hours to cook a clam chowder is no big deal because that's just your job. That's 3 hours of pay. That's 3 hours of like, what, $25 an hour? So sure, I'll do that. But if you're at home trying to make clam chowder for your family and they're all hungry and they want food now, and you got to take 3 hours to make clam chowder, and oh, by the way, you just worked a fucking 8-hour workday and you're exhausted. So
it's reading it all to us.
yeah. Is that the Duke's clam chowder?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh yeah, Duke's award-winning champion clam chowder. Or if you go to Duke's website. Really? Oh, you have to go to the restaurant to get the official recipe card from them, I guess. But it's a great, yeah, if you're ever, so anybody that's watching, if you're ever out in the Seattle area and you're looking for some good seafood, there's a couple places to go. There's what is it, the Lights on the Sound?
Harbor Lights.
Harbor Lights, which is in Renton. That's
No, it's in Ruston.
Ruston.
Yeah.
Ruston Way.
It's
Yeah.
Ruston.
It's in Ruston Way. If you like scallops and just like seafood, just like scallops and whatever fish, shellfish, like that kind of stuff, the Lights on what is it?
Harbor Lights.
Harbor Lights is amazing. And then Duke's.
Then there's Kavanaugh's. That's a good place.
We go to Kavanaugh's?
I've been to all of them. I went there with Sarah Bryant and
Man, you went to all kinds of places
and
without
like
me.
Carol. Our
There's a lot of
realtor.
there's a lot of good places though. There's like the Dock 53
Yeah.
or Dock 52, whatever it is. That place is good. But Harbor Lights is great for like their scallops are amazing.
And risotto, that was good.
And then Duke's for the clam chowder obviously is amazing. And then like their sandwiches, like their po' boy and their lobster
Remember,
roll.
we found the fish peddler before we left. It was like the last restaurant
the
we went
fish
to.
peddler was
That was
amazing.
amazing.
That was super good. And they have like a oyster shot that's really good too. It's like a oyster that's in a shot glass with some hot sauce on it. Super good. We went there for my birthday, right? When we found that place.
Yeah.
And then obviously their fish and everything was good. The Dock 52, everything on the menu at Dock 52 is amazing. We went there a few times and I never had a bad experience there. And then what was the other one? It's by Duke's. It's in
The
Ruston.
one that's like CNC or something. I can't remember what it's called. Let me look.
Here, let me show my face. Oh,
Let me show my face. Okay.
what was it called? You know the place I'm talking about, though. But yeah, there's a lot of good places. Well, obviously Seattle's got a lot of good seafood. So if you're in the Seattle area, we never got up to that place where you hit the crab with the hammer.
So we've been to Anthony's.
Anthony's.
Yeah,
That's a good
at Point
place.
Defiance.
Yep.
They have various types of Anthony's. So they have an Anthony's that's up in Seattle. They have one that's like up by like Linwood or whatever also. And the Anthony's in Tacoma is like the best.
Yeah, the one in Point Defiance is amazing.
And then there's the Lobster Shop. Been to that one. Katie Downs Waterfront Tavern. That's good.
I haven't
The
been to
Harbor
Lobster
Lights.
Shop. Harbor Lights is good.
Stack 571 burger and whiskey bar is really good, but that's just not seafood. The Copper and Salt Northwest Kitchen. And then they have the cool Ram restaurant.
Oh, the Ram.
The Ram,
Yeah,
that,
the Ram
I mean,
is
it's
good.
a chain.
It's a microbrew.
Yeah. The
I'll be right back.
But like it's on the riverfront or on the waterfront there, and it's really pretty.
Well, then there's a Ram Macy.
Yeah. A fish peddler. Okay. Cool. Some of the restaurants aren't. I guess it probably got taken away from the freaking pandemic. We went to Boathouse 19 a couple times. I really liked that place. They have a waterfront market in Ruston also. It's not open all day, but you can like get fresh whatever, crab, scallops, fish, whatnot. Boy, he is peeing up a storm. One thing I kind of miss about Washington is they have the best Thai food restaurants. Like they don't have Thai food like that here. Everything is like a combo. Like you get a Chinese Thai food restaurant, you get a Chinese Korean restaurant. It's like weird. Like I'm not expecting to get my like Mossman curry at the same place you get whatever the frick Gitch eats is I love curry so much. What is that Chinese food you always eat? Like General Tso's. He always eats General Tso's. Yeah.
Or Pad See Ew.
And he eats Pad See Ew, but that's Thai food, yeah. But I am like super love like yellow curry, Mossman curry. Those are my two favorites.
Mossman curry. And the nice thing is that Mossman curry, I had it in Thailand, and the Mossman curry that you get in the States tastes just the same. What do you think there, little kitten?
There was like when we were in Alabama, the Mossman curry there was different than the one that was in Washington a little bit. It was still okay, but I felt like the yellow curry tasted more like the Mossman curry that we had.
Yellow curry and Mossman curry are pretty close to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They use the same seasonings.
Gotcha. Yeah, I miss good curry.
Yeah, I do too. Good Thai food in general.
Yeah, I haven't had a good pad Thai from a restaurant here.
There's like, yeah, Thai food, and Mexican food, and Greek food here. Just
Not the same.
not great.
Mm-hmm.
There's okay Greek food. Like there's a place called Army City that makes an okay gyro. But if you want anything else that's Greek food, forget about it. But it's not.
And it's weird. So like we haven't been to
great.
Zorba's. Zorba's was closed for a while after the pandemic. So, but like we used to go to this place called It's Greek to Me, and it was out in Washington.
Oh, God.
And it was so good. And it was weird because they did spaghetti and pizza there too.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah, and in Minneapolis you can get all that.
yeah.
That's the crazy thing about Minnesota. Like you can get all that good food, and it's authentic. Like you go to Pad Thai.
No. What's Igbo? Where's that?
Igbo. Kevin Gay, welcome to the channel, by the way. Hello, thank you.
Yeah, in
Thank you for
Cornwall,
coming. Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from?
maybe he's somewhere that we've lived.
Maybe. We just like to know. But yeah, Pad Thai in St. Paul, amazing. It's like one of the best Thai places out there.
But it's called Pad Thai.
Yeah, it's called Pad Thai. It's on University Avenue. Yeah, at least it was before I joined the army. It might be not there anymore, but
The first place, so I dated a guy that was a big foodie. That guy that owns the sound system for the Twins and the Vikings.
Igbo, Kansas. Okay,
Oh,
all right.
no, we've never been to Igbo,
No.
Kansas. I have been to Kansas a lot, though. I've been to Olathe. I've been obviously to Kansas City.
I've driven through
I've been
Kansas
to
when I was a
near
summer job.
Manhattan. I went to a casino that was south of Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, yeah. So at that casino, it was cool. They had this bar and they had this big boot that you could get like, I don't know, 100 ounces or something of beer. It was huge. And I
Agreed.
drank all that boot of beer.
The Vikings are trash. I agree.
I'm a Packer fan.
Yeah.
He's not really a sports fan.
I'm not a sports ball person, but yeah, when I started getting interested in sports, the Packers were a bunch of criminals. That's when
When?
the
Packers were criminals?
no, not the Packers, the Vikings. Sorry, the
Okay.
Vikings were criminals.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's when like the
the strippers,
boat gate
the
happened. And,
freight
yeah,
house.
yeah.
The Packers really suck this year. It's kind of
Syria, they're not doing great. Hey, but Minnesota made it to the next round. The United States made it to the next round of the World Cup. So that's something.
that's kind of
They
crazy.
beat Iran or Iran or whatever.
Yeah, oh man, Adrian Peterson. Not.
Sure, yeah.
Mm.
Devontae Gorbachev.
What?
I don't
You're
know.
mixing a Russian leader with like a dude that plays sports?
That's what I do to irritate intern Ryan. I just make up names that sound like football player names. And then I'm like, yeah, did you see that when Devontae Gorbachev made the goal in the end zone by the...
See, I'm a real sports fan because when I was a little kid, I remember watching the Vikings, and this was back when Wade Wilson was the quarterback. He was like number 11, and he's kind of like I think he's like a special person in football because he was a type 1 diabetic. So the fact that he was playing like
That's why I like...
football is
Kirby
crazy,
Puckett.
you know.
I'm
But-
a baseball fan.
but,
I like
like-
Kirby Puckett.
He got traded to the Saints, and then like around the time that he was about ready to leave or whatever, you know, we had like the Carters and everything.
We're not ignoring your question. We're just waiting for him to...
They got in like a big fight on the field with the Bears, like back when Jim McMahon was on the team and had the crazy visor. And you know, me being a little kid, I was like, violence is horrible. These guys are violent. So
I was not like that.
yeah, he's good.
I am a Black Hawk pilot in the United States Army.
And
Hockey, hell yeah.
I played hockey in high school.
The North Stars. Oh wait, the
Long
North Stars don't
live the
exist
North
anymore. Yeah.
Stars. Go Minnesota Wild.
The North Stars are dead. Long live the Wild.
Yeah, I'm just a full-time nursing student right now. Mm-hmm.
I fly Blackhawks.
It's like, go, Mike Madonna.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Hell yeah. North Stars. When the North Stars left Minnesota, I gave up on hockey. Although, and again, like when I started to get interested in sports, the Minnesota Vikings were a bunch of criminals, and the Wild were on strike for like 3 years. So, is what actually a boy?
Wait, is that actually a boy? Wait, where?
Is who actually a boy?
This?
Am I actually a boy? That's not a boy. That's
a girl.
That's a girl on the Sailor Jerry bottle.
Yeah, you're a boy, but
I'm a
you're
boy.
not really a sports boy.
No, I'm not a sports baller.
He's like a geek.
I was an arts kid. I did band and drama and comedy improv and photography, and then I joined the army and was an infantry soldier for 7 years and steely-eyed killer, and then I am now a pilot. And D&D, yeah. D&D.
I think I've always just been kind of a tomboy. But
Well, you were a horse girl.
yeah, I grew up with horses.
Horse girls are weird. Weirdos, yeah. Yeah, you never date a horse girl. They love their horses more than they love men.
You know what? Andy said that too.
It's true. It's a thing.
Yeah, I remember us getting in fights, and I think that's the reason why we broke up was because
You're a horse girl.
because I was more committed to spending my time riding my horse Flash than I was like hanging out with him. We didn't do anything when we hung out. We were in 7th, 8th grade, you know?
Yeah.
Well, 8th
I
grade.
dated a horse girl my first year of college, and it was the same thing. And she was more interested in spending time with
I feel,
horses.
looking back, I feel kind of bad because he'd like come and sit and watch my lessons, or he'd sit and watch me like when I'd be doing like shows or stuff, competitions and stuff. And like, what was he doing? Like just sitting there.
Sitting there watching you, yeah.
And I'm the one
It was the same thing to
having a
me.
great time, you know, and like, you know, you have to be so focused when you're with a horse because it's a huge animal that anything could happen with it. And so you really pay attention to your surroundings. So when you're,
Yeah, but when you're a young man, you don't know
but
that.
like, so
You don't
I
pay
never paid
to that.
attention to my boyfriend, you know, and the owner of the stable that I took lessons at, his oldest son had a crush on me, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. Everybody on the bus knew it. Like,
Did you know it?
yeah, I knew it. I dated him for like 3 months when I was in 9th grade. I felt weird because he was like 2 years older than me, and I was like, "This is so weird that you are in high school and I'm in junior high."
You know, yeah, that's the normal way of things.
Yeah, but back then I was
5 years older than me.
Yeah, I'm old.
But I'm an old soul.
I'm an older soul.
Well, you're a cancer survivor.
Before I was a cancer survivor, I was an old soul. But I want to know where Igbo is
He's in
in Kansas.
yeah,
But
Kansas.
like, where is Igbo? Like, what is it?
Yeah, where is Igbo, Kansas? In relation to Kansas City. If you're still here.
Yeah, if you're still
Kevin
here.
Gay.
We kind of rambled.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how we drive everybody away. We start rambling.
Well, no, because I mean, if they would chat, we would feed off of their whatever they're chatting at. So I mean, I think we're pretty good about engaging the chat. Just we're a small channel. That's all it is. So there's not a whole lot of chat engagement. That'll change though someday. Someday we'll get like someday we'll be sitting in here and we'll have like 500 viewers and be like, where did the time go? What happened? How did this happen?
There have been times where I chatted on my channel and I felt like, oh my God, there's too many people talking to me.
Yeah. Well, and that's where you have to start to like have a plan for your show, because you have to be able to talk about something well, because when you have 500 people in chat, they're all going to be talking amongst themselves, and you just have to continue the show where they're talking amongst themselves, and they just kind of like pick out little comments and stuff.
Yeah.
He's just settled in. He's like, well, Dad's picking out my mats, and I'm okay with that right now. Well, not anymore.
He's going to take my seat.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Mom's gone. This is where I'm sitting. I'm in the show now. Yep. Sniffles is taking Mom's place. A beer? Oh, piece of breadstick. Kevin Gay, you still here? Where is Igbo? I know where Kansas City is, and I know where Wichita is, and I've driven through most of Kansas when I was a truck driver. But I don't think I've driven through Igbo. He's like watching you. Do I have to move? Man, I miss D&D.
I've never played it.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's like grown-up make-believe.
I'm not good at that.
Wow. I had a fun, even the...
What are you doing? Let him be.
Getting this
We're gonna
bad.
shave his belly off tomorrow.
Even the campaign, the brief campaign that I played with Gandalf and his brother relatively recently was a lot of fun. I was like a ancient gnome druid. It was a good time. It's just fun. It's like, it's make-believe. It's fun to come up with a story for your character and like try to imagine what that person would do in certain situations, and then like play as if, because you're not like, well, first of all, the situations that you find yourself in, like you're in a city that suddenly gets attacked by a earth elemental. Like that's not something that would ever happen in real life. And then you have to figure out how this character that you've developed would react in that kind of situation. And then play the character not as you would react in that situation, because fuck, if I was in a city that got attacked by earth elemental, I would fucking hide. I don't know how to... If earth elementals existed in real life, I don't know how to beat that thing, but you have to react as if you're the character that you developed that knows, oh, this is an earth elemental.
They should make like a cross between Magic the Gathering and Dungeon and Dragons game.
There is one.
Oh,
There's a compendium for Magic the Gathering with the D20 or the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition rules.
Guess I had a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And Wizards of the Coast makes both Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, so you don't get my breadstick.
He's begging. Super bad.
Yeah, I've wanted to get into it. I just don't have the time, and I have other things that, like Guild Wars, I've had a lot of fun with. I played Tinykin on my last duty shift, and that was a lot of fun. It's like a off-brand Pikmin. And then what's the game that I've played a lot of? Oh, Grounded. I was playing a lot of Grounded. That game's a lot of fun. But I've wanted to do Solasta because it's like a Baldur's Gate type game, and I loved like one of the best games that I ever played was the Neverwinter Neverwinter Nights, or no, not Neverwinter Nights. It was just Neverwinter. It was like the Baldur's Gate type game, but it was in the Neverwinter story arc, and it was fun. Yeah. I don't know. I've had a lot of fun with Grounded. I did have a lot of fun with Grounded. I don't think I'll go back to it though. I've been away from it for long enough that I think I'm ready to do something else. I was thinking about getting into Dragonflight, the World of Warcraft expansion. Playing that for a little bit. I do I love World of Warcraft. I'm not a fan of the subscription model. That's all. I don't like having to pay a subscription. But I do like the game. So, I don't know. And the first person shooters, they just get boring to me. Like, it's just the same thing over and over again. That's true. Yeah. But Guild Wars, I feel like Guild Wars doesn't have a lot of... I mean, I don't know. I don't do a lot of PvP in Guild Wars, so maybe there's cheaters and hackers in there, but I've had a lot of fun with Guild Wars, but it just doesn't grab me. Yeah. Guild Wars, yeah, I mean, there's that. And Guild Wars just doesn't engage me the same way that World of Warcraft did. Yeah. Yeah, even like, I loved GTA 3. Had a lot of fun with that. But like GTA 5, I've played a few times and I just can't, I don't know. Just can't, just don't get into it. Can't buy in.
I think I'm worn out to the point that I need to leave the stream.
You ready to go?
Yeah,
All right.
You can keep going on if you want. I gotta
Well,
go.
I will sign off for Wine with the Wifey. I think I'll probably log on and play a video game or two. Give me about 20 minutes to get set up. If you're new to the channel and you haven't yet, go ahead and hit the follow button on Twitch. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube, whatever platform you're on. Hit the like button on Twitter, I guess. I don't know. We're live streaming on Twitter, but I don't know how that works. So if you're over there, do what you do. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. And until next time.
Pour on.
Let me get this set up before I say
He
it.
does it every
Single time. And until next time, pour on.
Have I become a little too shy for love? I've been hurt before. All's fair in love and war. So I'll snuggle up close to the shell I'm living in. And if I let you in, another round begins. And no, I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side.
Should I be scared? The feeling's so different now. You got me floating here, a feather in the air. Oh, but when the wind blows, will I tumble or sail away? Or would you have me stay? And what if I escape? I know
I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. side. I'm not afraid. We found something that'll never fade. We can be ourselves and figure out the rest along the way. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if